Mr. Electric.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Caitlin Clark is the WNBA Rookie of the Year, and that was for what she did on the floor. But she also helped lift the league and its profile, including record-breaking attendance and TV ratings. The Falcons are 3-0 in primetime games against the Buccaneers. The teams meet in Atlanta tonight to kick off Week 5. ESPN's Ryan Clark says the Falcons need to have explosive plays.
They have to find a way to get Kyle Pitts involved, and I believe trying to get Kyle Pitts matched up against those linebackers and not outside where they're cornerbacks that can match his athleticism is extremely important. But in order for them to win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Kirk Cousins is going to have to produce some big plays.
Chiefs wideout Rashee Rice goes on IR today with a right knee injury. He'll miss at least the next 4 games. Every game of the baseball playoffs is on ESPN Radio. 6:30 Eastern time tonight for a decisive Game 3 in the Wild Card Series for the Mets and the Brewers. That game also on ESPN TV.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Cannon. Coming up Friday, I've called the Steelers frauds and said the Cowboys are headed for a tank. I'll tell you why the loser of this game can kiss their season goodbye. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right! Woo!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing Service. Fired up to tell you more about our great new partners there. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf.
I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world.
And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. My goodness, do we have a ton to do today. Our Fantasy Blitz later this hour. The radio voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, next hour. Lee Sterling, his picks. Mike Triplett, 5-star, number 1, 2027 quarterback Elijah Haven in studio with us in hour number 3. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
All right, Saints were back on the practice field on Thursday. Keep in mind, this is a Monday Night Football week. But now you know this, but everything is basically moved by a day. Normally, we get the first injury report on Wednesday. We got the first injury report today, Thursday, for the New Orleans Saints. And I think, of great note and consequence, as we are waiting the formal injury report, literally right here at 3 or 3 p.m. Central Time. It should be any minute. One thing that we know, and our guy Ross Jackson had the report up at LouisianaSports.net, probably the most significance is that running back Kendre Miller returned to practice today. So we got that report up at LouisianaSports.net. If you'd like to check it out, you could read the full report there. But we all know Miller's story. It was a third-round pick. Saints had a lot invested in him. Didn't play a ton at TCU, but tremendous upside. Drafted him last year, mostly injured. First practice, first drill, first day of training camp. Pulls his hamstring, missed the rest of camp. Dennis Allen had nothing nice to say about Kendre Miller. Went so far as to say it's hard to make the team from the training room. Started the season on IR, meaning he was going to miss the first 4 games. He was eligible to return now after week 4, so now is when Miller is eligible to return. The Saints have a 3-week ramp-up period. So this is the 3-week window, provided he's back at practice. They can open a 3-week window by which he has to return within that 3-week window. My guess is it'll take you 3 months to get over a tweaked hammy. So he should be back, good to go. We'll wait on the official injury report and what the word is there for Kendre Miller if they do, in fact, activate him. Again, we're waiting on the full injury report to see what the designations were, but there are some more concerning things here. Not surprisingly, Willie Gay was not at practice. We saw on Monday he posted a picture on his Instagram of his arm in a sling. It looked like his hand was wrapped and he was leaving a hospital, medical facility of some sort. Taysom Hill also missed practice on Thursday. That's very concerning. We saw what he meant to the offense in the first half against Atlanta. Short yardage situations, he converted a 3rd and 1. He scored 2 touchdowns. You take Taysom Hill off the field. The Saints sputtered in the second half. Correlation doesn't always equal causation, but I think it goes without saying Taysom Hill is an integral part of everything the Saints are trying to do. Cesar Ruiz, again, did not practice. That is concerning. And maybe even magnified by the next name I'm about to tell you, and that is Shane Lemieux. Shane Lemieux is not at practice. I'll remind you, with McCoy and Ruiz out, the Saints made the decision to sign Shane Lemieux from the practice squad to the active roster, and Lemieux started against Atlanta at center so Lucas Patrick could go back to his natural spot of left guard, so as not to upset the entire interior of your line. So Lemieux played at center, Landon Young played at right guard for Cesar Ruiz, and Lucas Patrick went back to his spot. If Shane Lemieux is injured and not available, and I'm being presumptive here, I don't know if that's the case. We'll wait for the injury report, see what the designation is, if he might be able to go. You might be playing your 3rd center in as many games if Lemieux is unavailable for the game against Kansas City, but we'll wait and see. The other 2 players that were not at practice were Chris Reed and Peyton Turner. Again, the good news is Kendre Miller returned, as did A.T. Perry and Demario Davis. If you want one exhale spot, one bit of good news, it is that Demario Davis returned to practice for the New Orleans Saints on Thursday. And if he's practicing out there, even in a limited capacity on Thursday, you would think by Monday Demario Davis would be good to go. And my goodness, did they need him, especially with the injury to Willie Gay, because otherwise you'd be down to Pete Werner, DeMarco Jackson. Maybe you're calling up Anthony Orji. I mean, you are paper thin at linebacker, and that ain't the offense you want to be thin on defense against. So we'll wait and see how the week continues to play out. But the headlines here: Kendre Miller returned, but Taysom Hill, Cesar Ruiz, Shane Lemieux, Willie Gay, Peyton Turner, all absent from practice on Thursday for the first injury report. We'll see how it goes as the week progresses, and we'll have a much better sense by Friday, and then, of course, into Saturday when their final injury report is released. All right, y'all, it's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. By the way, Show Up and Everyday brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. Not to paint this awful picture of what's going on with the Saints and then to promote this, but I am very excited because Monday we will be over at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at LeBear's in Baton Rouge, and we're partnering with our friends at Mockler Beverage, the official beer of the LSU Tigers and the official beer of the New Orleans Saints, and we would love to invite you to come be a VIP with us. I kind of screwed this up the past couple of days, so my bad, but you can enter by going to our website now, 1045ESPN.com. I had been asking you to text me, but now go to the website. Even if you already text me, I need you to go to the website. You'll see it right there on the scroll to be the MVP. Very easy. You just enter your email address, or you could via Facebook or X or Google, anything like that. It's right there where you can enter, and we'll draw our 8 winners right here on AFR on Friday. Remember, 8 winners and a guest, VIP seating, free food, free Bud Light, a gift bag for our winners as well. And even if you don't win one of the VIP experiences, no sweat, because there are going to be prizes given away throughout the night, including someone is going to win, not necessarily one of our VIP winners, someone who's there for the game is going to win two tickets into the Bud Light Lounge in the Superdome for Saints-Rams on December the 1st. And there will be other prizes that will be drawn for throughout the game as well. So come join us Monday at LeBear's, the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. AFR will be broadcasting live. We'll be there with our friends from Mockler Beverage and Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. Go to our website, 1045ESPN.com to enter. Go to our website, 1045ESPN.com to enter. Go to our website, 1045ESPN.com to enter. By the way, I would really appreciate it also if you'd sign up for our newsletter so that way you'll get our news blast from LouisianaSports.net whenever we publish them. The one other quick tidbit here from the day as we push off from the dock is Davante Adams. We're continuing to follow the Davante Adams situation. The reports now, the most current reports, as we learned on Wednesday, Jets, Saints seem to be the two preferred destinations for Davante Adams. Wants to play with a quarterback he's familiar with. Of course, 8 years with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Played collegiately and for a year in Las Vegas with Derek Carr. Should the Raiders get a deal done? Apparently, there's a lot of teams that have inquired. Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport reported Saints, Steelers, Ravens, Bills, Cowboys, Niners have inquired about Davante Adams. So the market for Adams is robust. Where he lands isn't really up to Davante Adams. It's up to the Raiders to do a deal with whichever team they prefer to do a deal with, who can come with the best package, incentive, however it may be. I would assume that if you're the Raiders, you'd probably rather send Davante Adams to an NFC team instead of an AFC team. But I would also assume they'd probably rather get whatever they can for the player if they're going nowhere fast. There was also a report that Adams' preference is the Jets to go play with Aaron Rodgers. Doesn't mean the Saints are eliminated from contention. As this story develops, we'll continue to keep you up to date. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Thursday shows brought to you by Decision Critical, a concierge nursing service in the greater Baton Rouge area. Excited to tell you much more about Decision Critical, and you can learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. Let me knock out a quick break. When we come back, got some updated Heisman odds, and I saw a mock draft today with one projection that was stunning. Not surprising, stunning. I want to share it with you next. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Duplessis Builders. Get them online, duplessisbuilders.net. If you want that pool, that outdoor kitchen, you want to build your backyard paradise, Duplessis Builders can help you do it. I share this line with you often. It's actually on the homepage of their website. It's a line from Gucci. Quality is remembered long after price is forgotten. Listen, there might be pool builders who can give you a better price, a discount here or there, say they can get it done quicker. I'm going to tell you point blank, that is not Derek Duplessis. I've just witnessed this. He would rather pass on business than deliver an inferior product. They build quality, they build premium. He's got an engineering background. They will not accelerate the process. He'll be upfront with you. It's going to take 2 months to build your pool. But you will be thrilled, and you get a 10-year warranty as a result when the industry standard is 1 year. Check them out. DuplessisBuilders.net.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com.
Some updated Heisman odds. Everybody's got them. Should come as no surprise that Jalen Milroe saw a huge boost. Gigantic performance in the game. The big win, of course, against Georgia. Jalen Milroe now the betting favorite at plus 220 to win the Heisman Trophy. It's always interesting when we look at Heisman odds early in the season. Remember, Dillon Gabriel, the former Oklahoma quarterback now at Oregon, became the betting favorite before the season even started. Oregon's kind of just had a sleepy start to the season, right? I mean, if they played a
It's the Boise State game is the one that sticks out.
That was a close
call.
Well,
remember
too.
they stumbled out of the gates against Idaho in the look-ahead spot to Boise.
I watched that one in
to
Vegas.
Boise, and then they played Boise and they vanished off the. But I would tell you, Matt, the entire top of the Big Ten has been sleepy.
Yeah,
you haven't heard anything about Ohio State or Penn State or anything.
What's interesting, I think, about the Big Ten is the teams that are garnering the most headlines are teams like Indiana. And Illinois.
Nebraska.
For their early season starts. Now, Nebraska's stubbing their toe against Illinois, but Illinois then went and lost to Penn State. So some of them are falling from the ranks of the unbeaten, but those really have been the storylines in the first month. But for Oregon, it's just sort of been ho-hum. Now, they get Ohio State next week in Eugene. So that all changes next week. Yeah. Where we will know pretty definitively a week from Saturday where Oregon really stands as far as national championship contenders. I would say the same for Ohio State. I mean, they went and got Will Howard from Kansas State as their quarterback. That's, no easy task, just stepping in at quarterback right there at Ohio State. Although, I get you have a lot of talent, but I don't know how high I am on Will Howard. Dillon Gabriel's a guy that, in a flash, turned around Oklahoma from a 6-6, lost their bowl game, went 6-7. Dillon Gabriel comes in, and all of a sudden they're a national championship. Well, I shouldn't say they were a 10-win team. Now he's at Oregon. We'll learn more about Oregon, but I guess my point is with respect to Milroe. Milroe had his big stage last week. The odds just fluctuate a ton. Milroe had his big stage last week. Next week is Dillon Gabriel's opportunity to jump up, and we'll see. Cam Ward, his fast start has him with the tied with Travis Hunter as the second best odds at plus 500. I fell into the Travis Hunter trap last year after week one. They remember, Hunter didn't even have Heisman odds. And they beat TCU. I don't know if I would say it's a trap, but you knew it was going to be you probably weren't going to get better odds because as soon as they placed odds and people started betting it, his odds were going to drop. So I think halftime of that game, again, remember the season opening against TCU, had a touchdown catch and interception. Halftime of that game, DraftKings put his odds, but he didn't even have preseason odds. And so I bet it there, and then obviously they went 4-8, and so you're not going to win it there. But Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Ward obviously is the more realistic candidate. We think Hunter could actually be a realistic threat to win it.
No, because I don't think Colorado's going to be in a position of significance. I think Travis Hunter is the best player in college football, and that's what the award's supposed to go to. But we know what the award is. Your team has to be in a position to win, and I don't.
Jaden Daniels.
But they were still 9-3.
Could Colorado be 9-3?
Maybe, but I still don't see that.
What was their win total over under this year? Do you remember? Can you find it?
I can look it up preseason.
Well, finish your thought.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, I think Colorado's high end 8-4 probably settles in at 7-5, and they still have some tough road games to go in the Big 12. So I mean, I don't think a 7-5 guy is a guy on a 7-5 team going to win. But hey man, hey bro, they got to go to Rice Eccles, man.
Tough road games
a tough
in the Big
road
12.
game. Okay.
All right, so here's the rest of Colorado. They're idle this weekend.
Yes.
And then they get a home game against Kansas State.
Who was I looking up preseason?
So
their win total.
Colorado win total. Was it 4.5?
Might have been. I was gonna say 5, but
anyway, you go beat Kansas State, and you get 2 weeks to prepare. You go beat Kansas State at home, change the conversation. Then they go to Arizona, tough spot, just beat Utah. Home against Cincinnati, at Texas Tech, home against Utah.
Oh, I thought they had to go two Rice Eccles. Okay.
Home against Utah. At Kansas, home against Oklahoma State. So the remaining road games are Arizona, Texas Tech, Kansas. It's doable.
That's doable.
So
their preseason win, this is from August 28th, was 5.5.
5.5. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're already 4-1.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're going to go over the total, I think. That'd be a tough collapse.
I made a very sizable play last year. Wasn't it 2.5 was the win total? Or was it 3.5? I think it was 3.5.
I think it was 3.
And then it got bet up.
3.5,
So
yeah.
I made a sizable bet on 3.5. That was free money. And look, they collapsed late, but they got there in the first month. And then you cashed the ticket, and then they lost. Yeah, they had the losing streak to end the season. But I'll remind you again, man. Deion Sanders inherited a team that won 1 game. It's like Matt Rule. Why do we praise Matt Rule for what he did at Baylor?
And Temple.
Yes. I was just pointing out Baylor because it was more current and a bigger job. But yes, Temple as well. Nobody really remembers what he inherited at Temple. But, I mean, he won 1 game his first year at Temple. At Baylor. And then went to a bowl game and then won the conference. So, no, they didn't win the league, but they got to the conference championship game. But point is, you look for that acceleration. I mean, look at what he inherited. Deion inherited a team that won 1 game. Year 1, he wins 4. That's a dramatic increase. And this year, they're going to build on top of that. You may not like the way he's doing it, but you have to respect what he's doing. I mean, it's still impressive what he is doing, considering what he inherited. Your guy.
Bro, Ashton Genty's legit. He is legit, and as long as Boise State is in contention for that Group of 5 spot, his name is going to continue to be mentioned with the Heisman Trophy, and it should. I'm not telling you he's going to win the award because he's not going to. He's not going to win the award.
Would you be willing to say today that he will be in New York as a finalist?
Yes, I said that 2 weeks ago after the game against Oregon. I think he will be because I think Boise State's going to be the Group of 5 team, and I think the nation's leading rusher on a playoff team is going to get an invite to New York. I'll tell you, I think if Colorado's 9-3, Travis Hunter should be in New York.
Oh, I think that's a no doubter.
He's the best player.
If Colorado's 9-3, so much of awards has to do with name recognition. That's what's working against Ashton Genty.
That's fair.
Nobody knows who he is. If you're a college football junkie, you may know. But one of the things that really hurts guys like that, especially when you look at the Heisman voter pool, most Heisman voters, we all learned this lesson last year, most Heisman voters follow one team.
Mm-hmm.
And if you spend your entire day on Saturday, if you cover, let's just keep it close to home. You cover LSU, you're a Heisman voter. LSU plays at 6:30. You're leaving your house at 2:30 to get toward campus, to beat traffic, to park, to get into the stadium. You're doing field pregame stuff, to the press box for the game, writing during the game, whatever, postgame press conference. You leave, it's midnight after you're done everything. You didn't watch Ashton Genty play in Boise State. You might have scoreboard watched a little bit. The point is, you're not as deeply versed in everything as you are the team you cover. That's why you have a sincere regional bias with the Heisman. That's baked into this whole thing. That's what's going to work against him. So he could be a 2,000-yard rusher. I don't think he's going to New York as a Heisman finalist. I don't think there's anything he can do to make himself a Heisman finalist. I mean, Boise would have, and they already lost. I mean, they lost their game to Oregon. Had they won that game and he was a 2,000-yard rusher, they were undefeated. But you're just going to have to do something spectacular. I mean, Ollie Gordon last year. Didn't Ollie Gordon lead the country in rushing last year?
He did.
And he wasn't invited to New York. It's just, And that's a guy who had name recognition at a P5. So I'm not poo-pooing him as a player or the quality. I'm just saying it's more the context of the Heisman Trophy and everything that's baked into that.
And I understand that. I think this is going to be fascinating to actually watch the rest of the way because he's a dynamic player on a smaller team, but he has already been on some pretty big stages early in the season. Like he almost ran for 200 yards against Oregon.
But they lost.
They lost. I know. But it's Oregon, who everyone thinks is going to be in the playoff. He went for 187.
And nobody was watching that game, unfortunately. Because that was week 2 when you actually did have some big games that second week of the college football season. Dylan Gabriel plus 1,800, Nico plus 1,800 as well. These are Heisman odds. Quinn Ewers at plus 2,000. Hard to imagine Quinn getting back into it when you miss a couple of games. Jackson Dart at plus 2,000, Carson Beckett plus 2,500, Cade Klubnik plus 2,500. You want to buy low spot? It's those three. It's Dart, Beck, Klubnik. Those are 3 quarterbacks of teams that could very well have their team in playoff contention, and you're getting really, really good value there. If you're actually looking to bet it, we'll see how it all goes, though. All right, it's after further review. I do want to get – I'm short on time. I can do it. All right, I do want to get into this mock draft with a stunning projection. We're brought to you by Evermore. Drink Evermore, y'all. I have my Evermore with me every single day. It's a better form of hydration. It's natural, artesian water. There's nothing added, nothing taken away. I would challenge you. Next time you're at the grocery store, next time you're at a convenience store, you're at the water aisle, and you're looking at the bottled water, grab one that you normally buy, the crinkly bottle from Texas or the other one that's the big-time brand one. Look at the label. Things added for flavor. Look at how much is added or extracted from your water. It's not a natural product. Evermore is. Straight out of a natural artesian well on the North Shore in Covington, right into the bottle. It never touches air until you open it and it touches your lips. It's Evermore. Drink Evermore. Evermore.com. EVAMOR. Evermore.com. Available at great local retailers. Okay. I don't know if I have time for this. All right, let me do this so I stay on time. I promise I'm going to do this quickly. We'll break. We'll go around the SEC. I'll do around the SEC quickly. And I want to get into this mock draft because there is I hate to do this to you. I'm sorry. There is to me, a stunning projection in this mock draft. I'll get to that when we come back so we stay on time. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darin James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty, agent225.com, agent225.com. If you are thinking about selling your home, y'all, now is the time. Did you see what happened last week? Interest rates ticked down again. So you know how the market works. When interest rates come down, now all of a sudden there's more buying power. It's more affordable to buy a home. So buyers come back into the market. So when buyers are coming into the market, people looking to sell their home, obviously, are going to put their home on the market. So beat the rush. You have this situation arising. Interest rates coming down, and we're getting into toward November, which is the number one home selling month annually in our market. The reason is because people want to be in their new home for the holidays. They want to be in their new home for the new year. So call Darin James today, 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darin James.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
One quick follow-up is I got a text on the show text line from Christian who said, why is it Nuss on there with the Heisman odds? I went through a list there. The next of sort of the longer odds players, the top one among them was Garrett Nussmeier at plus 4,000. Drew Aller of Penn State, Shadur Sanders, Miller Moss, they're all at plus 4,000. So if you think Nuss could pull a Jaden and rescue his team despite maybe being a 2 or 3 loss team and just putting up spectacular numbers and being otherworldly, not bad value there. But we just ran through the most recent odds there for the Heisman Trophy and went through the top handful of players. But the sort of the best of the rest, Nuss, Drew Aller, Shadur Sanders, Miller Moss, all there at plus 4,000. Interestingly, that's a good transition into talking about Garrett Nussmeier because I ran across a mock draft today over at Yahoo Sports. And it was quite stunning to me. And there's a lot of different places we could look at this mock draft where things were quite surprising. First of all, and this was Charles McDonald. Charles McDonald of Yahoo Sports has the number 1 overall pick in the draft. How about Will Campbell? It says Campbell is a technician on the left side who constantly stays balanced in a winning position. His upright stance looks funky, but he's a good athlete with light feet who can move in space, has core strength to bring pop in the run game. Campbell is a consistent and smart player for a franchise desperately needing some of that. As Will Campbell going number 1 overall to the Jacksonville Jaguars. If that were to happen, Will Campbell would be the 4th number 1 pick ever. Of course, Dr. Billy Cannon, Jamarcus Russell, Joe Burrow, the 3 previous. And it's doable. I'll remind you, look, you go back, the last time an offensive tackle was taken number 1 overall was 2013. It was Eric Fisher to Kansas City. Since then, 8 times a quarterback has gone number 1. The other 3 were defensive ends. It makes sense. The only players that are going number 1 are a quarterback, the player that protects a quarterback, the left tackle, or the player that affects the quarterback, a defensive end. That's it. You had Clowney, Myles Garrett, and Travon Walker were the 3 defensive ends. So, yeah, if there was going to be a player other than a quarterback, it would be Will Campbell is as good as any to pick. By the way, they had Travis Hunter going number 2 overall. I mentioned that there was a giant surprise. The giant surprise, by the way, was not Will Campbell going number 1 overall. Depending on who has that pick, it may be a team that has a franchise quarterback that's looking for a left tackle. That might make sense. By the way, they got Emory Jones going 15 overall to the Chicago Bears. Boy, that would be a big boost for them. Getting Caleb Williams some protection there up front. You'd have 2 picks in the top 15. But that's not the super-duper big surprise. How about a pick number 30? Harold Perkins to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Well, that would suck, having Harold Perkins in the division. That would be awesome for Harold. Despite the injury, still going in round one. He's got a decision to make about what he's going to do, and a lot of that's going to depend on what the draft pundits and such think about his ability where he would fit in the NFL, and also his ability coming off the knee injury. So he's going to have to get some of that draft grade feedback to see what may happen there. But how about this? The 10th overall pick to the New York Football Giants. How about Garrett Nussmeier? It's over at Yahoo Sports. It's not totally crazy because while Garrett Nussmeier has started just 6 games in his career, the bowl game against Wisconsin, now the first 5 games of this year, he started 6 games of his career. NFL teams are absolutely desperate for quarterbacks. And the write-up here on Nussmeier reads, surprise, get used to seeing this name in mock drafts. Nussmeier has been one of the best quarterbacks in the country and has operated the LSU offense with extreme ease and efficiency. He could be the next face of the Giants if he keeps up this pace. There is a big if he keeps up that pace. I'll remind you, there are teams that have grabbed quarterbacks in the top 10 with less experience than Garrett Nussmeier. Mitchell Trubisky started for 1 season at North Carolina. 12 games. He started 13 in his career. One the previous season, one as a sophomore, then 12 as a junior, but started 13 games in his entire career. Anthony Richardson started 13 games in his entire career, 12 as a redshirt sophomore. Both those guys went in the top 5. Drake May was a 2-year starter at North Carolina. So a little bit more experience, but was still just a 3-year player. Nuss is already in year 4. If Garrett Nussmeier keeps up this pace, it is completely plausible that an NFL team where they are desperate and starved for quarterbacks, because the thing we know about this NFL is it is a quarterback league, and you are not winning a championship if you don't have elite quarterback play. And so teams have got to get them. And sometimes you're just beholden to that draft, who is available in that draft when you're picking at the top. And sometimes you get really lucky because there's a Joe Burrow or a Jaden Daniels at the top of that draft. There's a Trevor Lawrence that makes it easy. I understand Trevor Lawrence has struggled this season, but he had Jacksonville in the playoffs a couple of years ago. But my point is, it was an easy decision at number 1. Sometimes you're taking E.J. Manuel in the top 10. I mean, it's just, what does that draft year present to you? Sometimes it's Daniel Jones, which incidentally is kind of another good comp there for the lack of playing time that may be a comp to Garrett Nussmeier. But when you're doing it in the SEC as efficiently as Garrett Nussmeier is, when he's in the top 15 of every major statistical category in the country, passing yards, passing touchdowns, efficiency, quarterback rating, it plays. But I also think it's so interesting, and it's somewhat of a cautionary tale here, because there's a lot of fans that want Garrett Nussmeier to have a great season, go pro, because Bryce Underwood's coming next year. And I'm going to remind you again, Zach Mettenberger, Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, 3 guys that became a starter in year 4, the year 4 in college. Now, Jaden started for 3 years at Arizona State, but their first year starting at LSU was their 4th year in school, and they played well. And then the 5th year was a kaboom. For Burrow and for Jaden, their 5th year netted them Heisman trophies. For Mettenberger, they had an historic offense. First SEC offense with a 3,000-yard passer, 2,000-yard receivers, and a 1,000-yard rusher. What would Nussmeier look like coming back in 2025? That could be a national championship team. And before you roll your eyes and hem and haw, I know you'd be losing your offensive line. But You could hit the portal. Tyree Adams would be a third-year player. DJ Chester would be a second-year starter. You've got guys, Weston Davis, you got really talented five-star guys that you'd be a year older, and you could certainly hit the portal. Caden Durham, Harlem Berry, Kamorian Pimpton, Tradez Green. Does Chris Hilton return? Kyle Parker, Shelton Sampson. You got talent on that side of the ball. Okay, I'm not worried about that. You get Nussmeier back, boom. And defensively, Ahmad Bro a year older, Dominic McKinley a year older, Deshaun Womack in his third year, Whit Weeks is a junior, Stamps is a 3-year starter, P.J. Woodland as a starter, Deshaun Spears in his second year. You're bringing in a 5-star in DJ Pickett. You can hit the portal. My point is, you could start to look at it and say 2025, you get Nussmeier back, attack the portal in the right way. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but I'm just saying, like, you give me the opportunity to have Garrett Nussmeier back for 2025, I'm with it. With total respect for what Bryce Underwood might very well be here. So I want to remind you the cautionary tale is what's going on at Oklahoma. I had Muse pull this. You remember we had Eddie Radosevich with us, who's from Sooner Scoop. And we were talking about Dylan Gabriel, who came to Oklahoma. They were a 6-win team. He turns them into a 10-win team. They say, basically, get out of town. We're playing the 5-star Jackson Arnold. We've seen how that's gone. Jackson Arnold's been benched. It's not even before October. This was Eddie Radosevich in July.
It feels very much like Dylan Gabriel was told, hey, you're not going to be our starter because we're handing the reins to the young guy, the 5-star.
Yeah, I mean, I think that happened even before last season, too. Like,
Okay.
I think everybody kind of knew, like, this is going to be Dylan's final run, because I think the original plan for Dylan was he's going to go play 2023. He's going to go to the NFL draft. He's going to get drafted.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be happy.
And Dylan decided to come back. NIL opportunities. And they said, no, we're going to the kid. So now he's at Oregon on an undefeated team. He's a Heisman contender. And Oklahoma has already benched the kid that they told him to get lost so they could play. I'm just telling you, it's a cautionary tale if you just want to hand over the reins to a freshman. There are going to be bumps and growing pains. So I am as excited about Bryce Underwood as everybody else, y'all. But if you tell me I got a shot to get a 5th-year senior back who's playing at this level, I'll take that every single time. But if these types of projections keep happening for Garrett Nussmeier, where he's projected as a first-round pick, he's going to be a 1-year starter and he's off to the league. There's no reason to come back if you're going to be a first-round pick. Something worth following as we move along. All right, it's After Further Review. Our Thursday shows are brought to you by Decision Critical, a concierge nursing service, decisioncriticalbr.com. Y'all, I have personal experience. Blazer Rivette, their founder, CEO, she was a CV nurse when we took Drew home from the hospital. And so she cared for Drew as a CV nurse when he was a baby. So I have much love and respect for her personally. And these are people, every nurse on their staff is handpicked by Blazer. They're the best of the best. They deliver in-home nursing care from birth to end-of-life care and everything in between. It's a concierge nursing service. You can learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. I would highly recommend you just have that conversation. One of the things some people may be thinking, I don't know if I can afford that. Just have that conversation. It's so much more affordable than you may think. DecisionCriticalBR.com, DecisionCriticalBR.com. We're thrilled to have them on board with us as our new Thursday title sponsor, and I'll be telling you much more. DecisionCriticalBR.com. Okay, it is After Further Review. We got our Fantasy Blitz with Darin Tietgen coming up here in just a smidge. Right now, though, we do it every day about this time. I didn't even give you the order. Just hit it. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Auburn Tigers.
Auburn flipped quarterback Deuce Knight from Notre Dame, the number 34 overall player, the number 5 quarterback in the country, had been committed to the Irish since September. 6'4", 206. He's a lefty. Although Auburn ain't doing great on the field, that's a big get there.
The Florida Gators.
Wideout Eugene Wilson has returned to practice. Of course, Florida hosting UCF this weekend in Gainesville, where they are an underdog. Wilson underwent surgery for his injury last month. Not holding him out for an extended period of time. They'll have him back for the Knights.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Status of one of Alabama's most experienced receivers in doubt for the game against Vanderbilt, Kendrick Law, who's been a He's a starter with 3 years of experience there, is day-to-day. Kalen DeBoer told reporters on the SEC coaches teleconference, suffered a leg injury in the win against Georgia this past weekend, has a touchdown reception already on the season.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Kirby Smart was asked for an update on lineman Jordan Hall, another guy dealing with a leg injury. Traveled with the team to Tuscaloosa, but did not play, didn't dress because of travel roster limits. Availability for this weekend against Auburn remains to be seen.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Tayshawn Russell, his status for the game this weekend against Ole Miss is up in the air because of the most recent depth chart put out by Shane Beamer. Shane Beamer said he's still on the team. He's working hard. That's all he would offer. Didn't offer anything beyond that. Last year, Russell played in 10 games with 5 catches for 81 yards and a touchdown. Has not had a stat yet this season on the offensive side of the ball.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
And Kentucky landed a commitment from offensive lineman Jaden Clark out of Ohio, Northmont, Ohio, to be exact. The number 76 interior lineman in the country. He's the number 48 player in the state of Ohio, 3-star prospect. Chose the Wildcats over Cincinnati, Indiana, and West Virginia. Okay, there you have it. That is around the SEC. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back to our Fantasy Blitz. Get your fantasy football questions in for Darin Tietgen. That's next. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Check out our friends at River City's 1 Hour Air. You'll see the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side all over town because your friends and neighbors trust River City's 1 Hour Air the same way I do. Hey, look, we're getting closer to fall weather. It's not here right now. It's 86 degrees in Baton Rouge. But before you know it, we'll be telling you about the heater safety checks. But still right now, while it's warm outside, if you have issues with your HVAC unit, if your AC isn't cooling properly, if you have an issue, call our friends at River City's 1 Hour Air. They'll get you on the schedule. And when a technician's coming out, remember, you'll get a call, a text, and an email alerting you the technician's on the way. You get the name of the technician, a photo of that technician, and reviews of that technician so you know exactly who is coming into your home. Think of everything to make you comfortable, both inside and out. It's River City's 1 Hour Air.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. After further review, this is the Fantasy Football Blitz.
Do you know who I am?
Powered by whotostart.net.
Who the hell are you?
Whotostart.net. The Fantasy Football Blitz. This is the Fantasy Football Blitz. Powered by whotostart.net.
All right, let's get it. Darin, Tietgen, whotostart.net, good enough to join us. Week 5 in the NFL season. You kidding me already? It goes by so quickly. D, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. I can't believe it's week 5 already.
I know, man. A lot of people are going to be excited about this one here. Of course, Falcons-Bucks. It's a divisional matchup that a lot of people here are going to be interested in. But from a fantasy perspective, who are we keeping an eye on tonight?
I think both passing games should be looked at. Atlanta plays pretty good defense against the run, and Rashad White has been less than spectacular. Obviously, Bucky Irving has stepped in, but I think both passing games are going to be doing pretty good. So usual suspects there, Baker Mayfield and his 2 pass catchers on the Bucs side, and then Darnell Mooney, Drake London, maybe even a little bit of Kyle Pitts for Kirk Cousins.
Okay. We always ask for a few sleepers. Who you got?
Yeah, I've got 3 for you this week. A couple of running backs. First, Jeremy McNichols with the Commanders. It looks like both Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler are fighting off some injuries. So McNichols stepped in for Eckler last week, had 20-plus fantasy points in PPR format. So if either or both of those guys are out, look for McNichols to step up, even though it's kind of a tough matchup against Cleveland. Another bonus running back for you, Tyrone Tracy from the Giants. The Giants looked pretty terrible last week, and Malik Neighbors probably out, but if that's the case, they may rely on the run game a little bit more. So look for Tyrone Tracy to get some increased snap share for the Giants. And then finally, wide receiver Jordan Whittington from the Rams, gaining some confidence. He's a rookie, so he's gaining some confidence from Matthew Stafford. He actually had the highest target share from the Rams wide receivers last week. So should be a shootout against the Packers. Packers cornerbacks are a little bit dinged up, so look for Jordan Whittington to be pretty good in PPR format for you.
He is Darin Tietgen, who2start.net, the numeral 2, who2start.net. By the way, they're running a $10 off promo today, so use the code 10OFF, 10OFF. Use the code 10OFF, 10OFF. It's good through Wednesday of next week, so make sure you take advantage of it over there at who2start.net. All right, let's get to questions, Darin. We got a couple of minutes here. Jeremy says, who to start? He's in first place. Which wide receiver do I sit? Nico Collins, Harrison Jr., Godwin, or Brian Thomas Jr.?
No, that's a lot of good wide
right.
receivers.
I was about to say, man, he's loaded.
Yeah, I mean, even with Thomas Jr. Having a nice start to his rookie season, I think he's probably the play, or probably the sit, reluctantly, as I may say, just out of the other 3 being better.
Cameron Cook, who to start, non-PPR, needs flex. He's got Brandon Ayuk, Austin Eckler, or Madison. Who you got? Who to start?
I think I'm going Ayuk this week. It's a good matchup. Eventually, he's going to bust out of his shell or break out of his shell. I mean, Deebo Samuel is back. He's healthy. Jawan Jennings has been good, but just something in the back of my mind thinks that Ayuk is bound to break out.
Christian says, who to start? Is it time to consider dropping Mark Andrews due to lack of usage in the Ravens offense? If so, who would be some good tight ends to consider PPR league?
Yeah, I heard some other radio personalities talking about this earlier, actually, about Mark Andrews. And yeah, I mean, if you saw him on your waiver wire, would you pick him up? Probably not. So yeah, it's probably time, unless you have a deep bench. you could probably drop him. Tucker Kraft is a tight end that I'd be looking at. Luke Musgrave is still coming back from injury. Jordan Love threw the ball like 50-plus times last week. That's probably not sustainable, but he did look Tucker Kraft's way quite a bit. And with some injuries there in the Packer wide receiver room, namely to Christian Watson, Tucker Kraft stepped up, so he might be available for you.
Quickly, last one. Lee, who to start, Jaden Daniels or Jordan Love?
Oh, you can't sit Daniels right now. I mean, Love's a great start, but Daniels is elite right now. Just with his running ability alone, gets you 5 or 6 points right off the bat. So, yeah, Daniels is the play.
Y'all check out who2start.net, the numeral 2, who2start.net. Be sure to use that code 10OFF, 10OFF, for $10 off this week at who2start.net. Thanks, Darin.
All right, thanks.
All right, man. Enjoy the football. It's after further review. SportsCenter's coming up. Get you caught up on national headlines. We're heading to Kansas City here in about 20 minutes. Get a check in on the Chiefs. SportsCenter's next. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. Hey, our friends over at the Williamson Eye Center, great supporters of so many events in our community. And this weekend, open date for the Tigers. It's Federalis Fest this Saturday at Live Oak at Cedar Lodge in Baton Rouge, back for the second year. So Federalis celebrates our Southern musical roots with national, regional, and local acts. So it's a mix of country, rock and roll, Americana. It's a family-friendly festival, and it's under a covered area, even though the weather should be beautiful this weekend. So it's a perfect event to enjoy this fall on this LSU open date weekend. They have VIP and general admission tickets still available, presented by the Williamson Eye Center and Lamar. So you can visit federalisfest.com, federalisfest.com to get your tickets before they sell out again. This Saturday, it's the Federalis Fest presented by the Williamson Eye Center.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Darin. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. In the end, it was almost unanimous. Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark is the WNBA Rookie of the Year, getting 66 of 67 votes. The other one went to Angel Reese of the Chicago Sky. Clark led the Fever to the playoffs for the first time in 8 years. Buccaneers and Falcons tonight in Atlanta. That's the first place Buccaneers. And ESPN's Chris Canty believes Coach Todd Bowles can help them overcome some injuries on defense.
I have full confidence in his abilities to be able to coach that unit up. So, yeah, I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be one of those teams that are in the NFC playoff picture. Either they're going to do it by virtue of winning the division, but even if they don't, I think they're good enough to be a wild card.
Chris Canty on Unsportsmanlike. Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce gets an 8-year show cause penalty from the NCAA for recruiting violations while he was an assistant coach at Arizona State. Last game of the wild card round, Mets and Brewers, 6:30 Eastern tonight on ESPN Radio and TV.
Here's one stat that's super simple to remember. Discover automatically doubles the cash back on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cashback Match. With Discover, you could turn $150 cash back to $300. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Decision Critical, a concierge nursing service in Baton Rouge. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. We're heading to Kansas City in 13 minutes. Mitch Holthus is the voice, the play-by-play voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. He'll join us, get a preview of KC, the two-time back-to-back defending champs for Monday Night Football, Saints and Chiefs. I want to get to Alex Bregman in just a second. It's worth a note. I know there's some people here who are Astros fans. Most everybody's a Bregman fan, and he might have played his last game for Houston. We'll get to that in a second. Muse, is this a joke?
What? I don't.
The injury report, is this a joke? The injury report?
No, that looks like the official injury report.
Oh, that's real?
That's real.
Did they practice today?
They did.
I mean, did they go all full water boy? Did they have the towel boy out there running routes?
They might have.
Did they have the guy responsible for taping ankles pass blocking?
Could have been.
I mean, did they get the guy with the loser with the big whistle on his head, the whistle monster?
The whistle monster
Did he come out there and come off the edge?
I don't think he was there.
I mean, who the hell practiced today?
Derek Carr?
I have covered this team. I've been doing sports since 2007. I've never seen an injury report this long, ever. I mean, this feels like a joke. It almost feels like they're messing with us when they put this out today. Like, oh, NFL, you're going to make us put out an injury report? Fine. Dude has a hangnail on his toe. We're putting him on the injury report today. This is unbelievable. How many guys is this? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15? 15?
That's a lot.
By comparison, just so you know, the Chiefs have 6. And that feels like a lot. I think last week the Falcons had 3 or 4, maybe. Saints got 15 dudes on the injury report. Oh, my God. 6 of them didn't practice. 7 were limited. 2 were listed but were full. That's Olave and Cedric Wilson. That's good news. You need receivers out there, man. The guys that didn't practice, Willie Gay, Taysom Hill, Cesar Ruiz, Shane Lemieux, Peyton Turner, and Blake Grupe. The good news about that, Muse, is none of those guys actually contribute to the team. Just a bunch of also-rans. Willie Gay, Taysom Hill, Cesar Ruiz, Shane Lemieux, Peyton Turner, Blake Grupe. Don't need any of them, do you?
No.
Oh, my God. I get it. It's Thursday. It's the first injury report of the week. But just looking at this is stunning. Demario Davis, Taliesin Fuanga, Alvin Kamara, A.T. Perry, Juwan Johnson, Brian Brzee, Kendre Miller, all limited. Bro. I mean, the only time in my brain just off the top that I can think of something like this that was this drastic was when they played Miami on that Monday Night Football game when like half the team was out due to COVID. They had dudes introducing themselves to everybody in the locker room pregame. Started Ian Book on Monday Night Football in like week 14, whatever. It was late in the season. I don't even know. Mike Triplett's here next hour. I don't even know where to get into all this, where to start with all this. First of all, Dennis Allen, the one that stood out to me initially was Shane Lemieux because, remember, you're without Eric McCoy. They signed Lemieux off the practice squad last week, started at center against Atlanta. Now, he's on the injury report. What's wrong with this guy? Here's Dennis Allen.
Shane Lemieux dealing with anything serious?
No. I mean, it's nothing serious. He didn't practice today.
Okay. Nothing. He just didn't practice. Nothing serious. A guy you just signed off the practice squad that was a late add to this roster who started last week for you. Now he didn't practice. Nothing serious. You're just going against the Kansas City Chiefs, who, by the way, Muse, Chiefs got anybody good on the interior of their defensive line?
A few guys, yeah, they're decent.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Anybody come to mind? I don't know any of their names. You know any of their names?
No.
I was trying to get you to say Chris Jones.
Oh, Chris Jones. Sorry, yeah.
Anyway, I was setting you up for Chris Jones. He went to Mississippi State. He's pretty good. He doesn't stink. Kendre Miller was back today, limited. Dennis Allen was asked what Kendre Miller might contribute to the team.
What would his return add?
I don't know yet. I mean, I would be hopeful that it would add another playmaker to our team, another guy that can be explosive for us, and I'm hopeful that that's what that is. But I think we need to see him practice, see him perform. I thought he had a good practice today. I thought he did some good things. So it was good to have him back out there.
He is so done with Kendre Miller.
I don't think he likes him very much, man. I mean, it's blatantly obvious at this point now.
I mean, these are the most. Dennis Allen seems like a very nice man. These are the most. When he gets asked about Kendre Miller, it is the most passive aggressive answers you can imagine. Well, he can't make the team for the training room. What is he at? I don't know. Need to see him.
He even chuckled.
Oh my God. Blake Grupe with a hip injury. That's not good for your kicker. What the hell happened to him? What do you do? He bumped the seat on walking down the aisle, getting on the plane to fly home from Atlanta?
Could have.
You bump your hip against a corner or something like that? Is that what happened? I mean, who the hell hit him? It's the kicker.
Charlie Smith, come on down.
Might have to.
Yeah.
Man. Whatever. Hey, y'all come enjoy the game with us. We'll be at the ESPN Bet studio there at LaBerge. You win one of our VIP passes. It's for all the Bud Light you could drink, free food. It's a good way to watch it, right? We'll all hang out together and commiserate. My goodness. All seriousness, though, go to 1045ESPN.com and enter. I know I've been asking you to enter via text. Thanks, everyone who did. I screwed that up. Go to 1045ESPN.com. The entry form's on the homepage. We'll pick our winners Friday. 8 winners, plus a guest, VIP seating, beer, food. Love to see y'all there at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at LaBerge on Monday for Monday Night Football. Man. My goodness, I hope it looks better tomorrow for the Saints. 15 players on the injury report. That is stunning to look at. It is after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com. Thinking about buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Had lunch today with my guys, Ben and Tim, over from First South Farm Credit. Went to downtown Baton Rouge. Great spot. Coach over there. It's a really great spot if you've never been. Always love visiting with those guys. And they're at this point of the year where we've seen interest rates come down. So one of the things that they do at First South Farm Credit is they will, if they notice rates tick down, they will shop for you. And if they can get you a better rate, they will actually reach out to you and say, hey, we can drop your interest rate. A lot of people call BS on that, but it's true and it happens. That's the kind of service that First South Farm Credit provides and has provided for more than 100 years. If you're thinking of buying land, by the way, owning land is a great way to get a tax benefit as well. Maybe you're a business owner. Talk to your CPA. I'm not trying to make any claims here. Talk to your CPA, but owning land could be a great tax benefit as well. It's First South Farm Credit. Your first call, your first option when it comes to buying land should be First South Farm Credit. Visit firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com for First South Farm Credit. I will circle back to Alex Bregman, who might have played his final game in Houston. So I did get a question on the text line about Shelton Sampson. When we were talking about Garrett Nussmeier, what the offense could look like next year, and if Shelton Sampson would leave. At this point, I don't know why he would. I mean, you've bided your time. You're probably going to see an exodus of these veteran receivers, Kyron Lacey and C.J. Daniels. We'll see what happens with Chris Hilton. He could come back for a fifth season. We'll see. Xavier Thomas could leave. We'll see. But it would stand to reason that there's an opportunity to the field for Shelton next year here. So why would you leave? But cross that bridge when the time comes. All right, quick break. We'll come back. Mitch Holthus, he's the radio voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll check in on the two-time back-to-back defending Super Bowl champs. It's next, AFR.
After further review.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. You know where to start at the website, getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. We tell you about all the fun stuff Gordon does all the time, the G team, all the NIL deals he's done, grubbing with G, riding with G, the one-on-one conversations Gordon's had with some of your favorite athletes. Really been a fun thing to do to put that content out there and see these young student athletes, both male and female, at LSU and other schools all over the state, have opportunities to get these NIL deals with Gordon. So you can check all of that out at getgordon.com, getgordon.com, or on any of their social media. But it's also worth noting, man, you can go to the website, see all the different types of cases they handle: car accidents, truck accidents, personal injury, offshore, maritime, workers' comp. So say it all the time. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. You need representation. You know what to do. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. Who dat say they're gonna beat them Saints? Let's head behind enemy lines to preview this week's matchup.
We look forward to the challenge of playing the Saints. Good football team, well coached. I mean, Dennis does a nice job with that group. And their coordinators, all three of them do a nice job with their phases. And, we've just got to make sure that we have a good week of preparation here going forward.
Andy Reid, Saints, Chiefs, Monday Night Football. Mitch Holthus will be in attendance, as he is for all the Chiefs games. He's the radio voice of the Chiefs. Good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. Mitch, we appreciate it. How are you?
Well, doing okay. You win 3 Super Bowls in 5 years. It's a pretty good run. And going off back-to-back Super Bowls and starting the next year 4-0. It's not bad, so we'll take it.
It's funny you ask, like, elite athletes, they remember the wins or the losses. Like, do they remember the loss to Tampa more or the trophies?
Oh, no, the trophies. Now, you remember them all, right? It's not like, oh, gosh, I don't remember the Tampa Bay game, which, by the way, in fact, I even got in an argument with David Jeremiah because they go, well, that wasn't a road game because Patrick Mahomes has never played a playoff road game. That was last year's narrative on Patrick to kind of bring him down. And I said, no, Super Bowl 55 against the Bucs pretty much felt like a road game. Oh, no, that was COVID. That wasn't a real Super Bowl. I go, yeah, exactly. It was in Tampa, and they let 17,000 people in the stadium that were first responders who've been cooped up for 6 months, and they were like throwing RPGs and beer cans at us. No, it was pretty much a road game, but that's okay. They all had masks on, but yeah, I can hurl a beer can if I've got a mask on. But give credit to the Bucs; they were great that day. Oh yeah, I remember it. Dude. But it was a road game, but still, remember the confetti in the head. That's a good one, as Saints fans do from 2009.
Yeah, that's those are certainly great memories. Saints are trying to get back there, but of course, got to go through Kansas City and basically everywhere else right now. Does this 2024 Patrick Mahomes, does it ever get boring? Does it ever cease to amaze you watching what he continues to do?
No, in a word, this is like, I don't even know if people read comic books anymore if it's all digital. This is like reading, the 25th Batman comic book, and there's a new villain and, throwing new things at Batman or Superman, and then they try to figure out how to defeat the villain. That's where we're at in Patrick Mahomes' career. What's interesting for the Saints is they will play Patrick in the second 100 games of his career. He just had his 100th game last week in the road victory at the Chargers. And just consider what he's done. He's 78-22. That's an all-time record for a quarterback in their first 100 games. Any quarterback, let me emphasize, any quarterback. He also has the most touchdown passes in the first 100 games, most 300-yard passing games, on and on and on and on. But the fact that he's 78-22, and here's what's impressive: 39-11 on the road, and then his 15-3 record in the playoffs is pretty remarkable. His 18-1 on the road against the division is pretty remarkable. I know the Saints are right there. I think the Saints are 14-5 on the road, and they should have won that game against Atlanta. That'd be. I mean, I watched that thing twice. Yeah. But still, Mahomes is. I don't want to make people mad, but I mean, you got teammates that play with him that played at LSU and are from there that would say the same things. He's a remarkable, one-of-a-kind athlete. And more than that, I think that's underrated, is his mental and emotional maturity. along with his intelligence. He's phenomenal.
Yeah, when you're watching a Hall of Famer, you're watching greatness. You run out of superlatives. Mitch Holthus is our guest, radio voice of the Chiefs, Saints Chiefs.
Hey,
Monday
Drew
Night
Brees
Football.
threw on his tiptoes for 15 years.
Hey,
so
man,
that's pretty crazy.
We saw it, man. Hey, you mentioned an LSU guy. Let me ask you about Clyde. A lot of people here love him and want the best for him. Maybe we'll see.
So do we.
Maybe we'll see him this week. What can you tell us, Mitch?
Maybe. There's an on-ramp for him, though. Keep in mind, he's been in the NFI list, and so you cannot practice if you're on the NFI list. So I'm not going to rule it out, but I'm not going to rule it in. It's a very wishy-washy answer, but honestly, it's the truth. He would love to play in this game. In fact, the game, it was COVID year, ironically, the year that actually we beat Tampa in the regular season and had to go play the neutral game in Super Bowl 55. not that bothers me, but we were also in the Superdome that year. I remember calling the game from the studio, and I can't remember. It might have been Hendrickson. They bent Clyde in half, and that play really kind of sent Clyde on a spin. Now he's had some moments coming back, but he had such a phenomenal start to his career, including 164 yards earlier that year in his rookie year against Buffalo at Buffalo. But it's been kind of working back even since that Saints game. He would love to play in this game, obviously, but I don't know how realistic it would be.
So Clyde's a question. We know Pacheco's out. Rashee Rice is out. What is there offensively, or not that it necessarily matters when you have Patrick Mahomes, but what is there?
Andy Reid.
Phenomenal.
Yep. Andy Reid. So Andrew Siciliano, now the Cleveland Browns, but when he was with NFL Network, it was right after the trade of Tyreek Hill. And we were just coming off an AFC championship loss to Cincinnati. And Andrew Siciliano says, is this it? Like, this is the AFC West passed you by. And the AFC West was all in, man. They had all their chips on the table, and they were all in on this deal. And I said, okay, Andrew, is the head coach still here? And is the quarterback still here? And without being arrogant, I would give you that same answer. I've seen Andy Reid deal with incredible, intense flashpoints all the 12 years he's been here. Now he's got another one, because we're essentially, those guys you ripped off, we're essentially missing, if you extrapolated it for the season, about 2,800 yards and 15 touchdowns. I mean, that's gone for a while. So this is kind of 2022 mode. No Tyreek Hill. What's going to happen to them? They're all going to be covered in volcanic ash by Tuesday morning. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I think I just hang in there, because I've seen Andy Reid do incredible things as a head coach.
Xavier Worthy's been there. I would assume Juju. So who does step up? Like, who gets the targets? Who are the players to watch this Monday?
In the words of the great sage of our time, Snoop Dogg,
yes,
in the great movie of our time, Starsky and Hutch, when he said, "I'll just lay it out for you to play it out," I would tell you that this is really an algebraic equation.
Okay.
This is, if you go back to your algebra days, and you're looking at believe me. That's why I wake up in the night. So I'm giving you this analogy. I still haven't figured it out. But think of a quadratic equation. Now, Justin Reid could figure it out, like the smartest human on earth, next to Patrick Mahomes, who's one of our Louisians. What a great family, by the way. Yeah, the Baton Rouge dude. And I've met his family. Oh, my gosh, is that an impressive family? In fact, it was last year at the AFC Championship game in Baltimore. They were all huddled up, and I'm like, who is this group? And anyway, sometime Justin's going to be president of the United States. But anyway, the point is, this is to answer your question, a quadratic equation. There's many variables here. There's no answer to give you, and it's not being wishy-washy again, because go back to what I said 2 paragraphs ago about Andy Reid. When he's been in this situation, he will throw a fastball, a cutter, a slider, and a changeup. So there is no one person that gets those targets, no one person that is going to be the focal point in this game. And they're going up with, and I've studied these guys, and I've looked at them closely, and I'm not just saying it because I'm talking to you, that this is a really, really good defense, and close to a phenomenal defense, just from the standpoint that they play so hard, they play so physical. I mean, 8 takeaways in 4 games is really good. And the Chiefs just played a team like that in the Chargers. I mean, play to the whistle, wink, wink, nod, nod. That's the way the Saints play. Great effort, great scheme, and so the Chiefs have their hands full with these guys, and so does Mahomes. But I've seen Andy Reid figure it out, and he's very underrated. I mean, he's fourth all time in wins in NFL history. He's close to getting on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
I don't know if he nudges off, if it's George Halas or Lombardi, but just Google him, look it up. Wins. Now he's got 3 Super Bowl titles. He's incredible, but if he's underrated just because he's not self-serving and out in front, and he's doing some funny commercials, but nothing crazy. But he's amazing. He's super smart in concepts. You can ask Dennis; he would tell you the same thing, or that Saint staff.
The Nugs commercial where his hand just creeps
It's the
across the
best.
table. That would have been remaking.
Well, he's
the
always
Snickers.
making fun of him. It's always the cheeseburger thing. And, making fun of are you the punt, pass, and kick kid? And so, and he goes along with it. But I've also seen him bring Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
He's still an old offensive lineman from BYU that would like nothing more to pull and take you and me out as a backer or a corner. He's got that mentality. So I've seen the whole, I reached for some nuggets, and in the meantime, he's bringing lightning bolts, So he's as competitive as it gets now. He can drop a hammer on somebody.
If Mitch Holthus is here with us, radio voice of the Chiefs, you can get him on Twitter, X at Mitch Holthus, Holthus. If the Saints are a 5.5-point dog, look, I mean, it's Arrowhead in prime time on Monday Night Football. I think everybody knows what the Saints are up against going on the road in this game. If they are able to make it a 4-quarter game and keep it close, maybe down to a possession there at the very end, how do you think that plays out, Mitch?
Well, I think the Saints are tough, and it ends up being a coin flip game. The Saints are so good in the division on the road. That tells you about their toughness. Now, they're unique offensively in the way they play. Alvin Kamara, who played junior college ball in Kansas, by the way, for the Hutch Blue Dragons. But the other pieces that they have, they use so well and use it in a unique way. You're really playing an interesting team here when you don't see them often like the NFC South does. But I will tell you this. Here's a couple nuggets for you in Baton Rouge, is that the Chiefs now have won 10 straight games. The margin of victory in those 10 games total is 61 points. That is the slimmest margin of victory in NFL history for any 10-game winning streak. This is going back to 1921 and the Decatur Staleys, and the Acme Packers.
Let's go.
Here's another one. 7 straight wins of a touchdown or less. That ties an all-time National Football League record going back to 1921. So what am I telling you? The Chiefs have lived in this zone. And it floors me that in baseball, like the Royals are now, they're moving on to play the Yankees, and they won a 1-0, 2-1 game, 2-1 games to get there. It's like, oh, man, that's awesome. They know how to win one-run games. You do it in football, they see it as a sign of weakness. Like, it's not good for the Saints to win 14-13. They need to win 45-0, or they think they're weak. No, it's just an ability to win games like you just laid out. So the Chiefs have kind of been there, done that, but really the Saints have too.
Man, it's going to be great theater either way. Prime time. You'll get to experience it all the time.
This Saints team's underrated. They're so close to being 4-0. I don't have to tell you that. I mean, it's 3-0 in the fourth quarter against the Birds, and 1:03 to go, and they pound one in. And that game last week, I mean, that's one where that coaching staff's got to be looking at that video going, how did we lose this game? Yeah. And those are really frustrating. So this is a 4-0 team in 2-2 clothing.
Man, it's how you end up in perpetual 8-9, 9-8 mode, just barely on the outside looking in. They got to figure out a way to do like Kansas City has and figure out a way to win those games. So,
I've lived that life too, partner. I've also lived the 2-14 life. How about this one? I don't want to cast aspersions, but the 2-14 year, the worst year, the year before Andy got here, one of the 2 wins was over the Saints, and the Chiefs won the game.
Was that the Jamal Charles game?
Yeah. The Chiefs won the game and never led. No. Won the game and never led. Ding. They win the game on this one they won that game 27-24 on 6 field goals, a safety, and a 91-yard run by Jamal Charles.
Oh, my God.
If you go into the blackjack table and having like 4 4s, and I don't even know, I'm getting a 5. Yeah. That's one of those where, hey, we've had a bunch of those too, where you're going, hey, did we lose this game? I mean, we had one against Indianapolis 2 years ago. It was like, and Chris Jones got a kind of a bogus roughing the passer call, but we lost to a 3-14 Colt team going, how did we – you're on the plane going, did we lose?
Yeah.
How did that work out? But that's what this league is, man. It's crazy.
Unfortunately, Mitch, that is the majority of the New Orleans Saints experience for the bulk of their history, except for this beautiful era that was Peyton and Breeze, and they're trying to recapture that. But Chiefs are the standard bearer, and we'll see if the Saints can get one in Arrowhead on Monday. Mitch, we appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for a couple of minutes.
Thanks, brother.
It's our pleasure. Y'all get him on Twitter, X, at Mitch Holthus, Holthus, radio voice of the Chiefs. I love the analogy that he used about the comic books. That's so apropos. It's true. It's just like it's just another episode of a new villain trying to beat Superman or Batman, and the hero always prevails. And that's kind of what the Chiefs are right now. See what the Saints can throw at them. All right, we'll knock out a quick break. Come back. What to watch this weekend in football? Stay here at AFR.
After further review.
Brought to you by Action Industries, actionindinc.com. That's Action Industries Incorporated. Y'all, they're still looking for people, still in recruitment mode. And really, it's two things. They have the two turnarounds that are coming up right now, 4 to 5 week turnarounds, working 7/12s. So make that money before the holidays here in football season. It's our friends over at Action Industries. You can apply online or in person. Online at actionindinc.com, actionindinc.com, Action Industries Incorporated, or in person at their Highway 30 office in Geismar. But they were just awarded another contract that's going to be a 12-month contract, and they're going to be doing recruitment for that as well. So get on now, even longer-term work. And all the work, by the way, is local to Greater Baton Rouge. So check them out. It's Action Industries. Welders, pipe fitters, crane operators, boiler makers. If that's you, they want to talk to you over at Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Join us at Pro Dreams in Mandeville for our special event, A Day of Champions. Meet LSU National Championship winning head coaches Jay Johnson, Skip Bertman, and Paul Maneri. Don't miss your chance to purchase authentic sports memorabilia, autographed by the champions themselves. It's the perfect opportunity to celebrate LSU baseball and take home a piece of history. Visit pro-dreams.com to get your tickets. See you there.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
All right, thanks again to Mitch Holthus, radio voice of the Chiefs, giving us a little perspective on KC. Elise Sterling's here in 10 minutes. We're going to move quickly here so we're on time for Lee to give us our best bets of the weekend. That's coming up. And a Mike Triplett next hour, and in studio 1 hour from right now, Elijah Haven, 5-star #1 quarterback for 2027 from Dunham, knocking off practice, getting over here to join us in studio. We're looking forward to that. All right, Muse, let's get to what we watch.
Here's what we're watching this football weekend.
All right, 3 things. Muse, Paulie, and I will give you 3 things to watch this football weekend. We'll circle back on Monday and tell you how it all went. Muse, start us off.
All right, yeah, we're going to start off in the NFL. Bengals-Ravens this week in Cincinnati. The Ravens a 2.5-point favorite. Neither team really off to the start that they would want early in this season, so this matchup carries a lot of weight, and everyone's going to be watching Joe Burrow, man. The Ravens seem to have had the Bengals number, although Joe's record's just 3-4 against Baltimore.
Paulie.
I'll be watching Ole Miss in South Carolina. Ole Miss
Me
looking
too.
to bounce back after that loss to Kentucky. But we all know they come to Baton Rouge next week. Jackson Dart averaging over 350 yards passing a game. Lenore Sellers is expected to return next week.
You know the Dolphins' record?
1-4 or 1-3?
1-3. Do you know how they won their one game?
How?
They kicked a last-second field goal against Jacksonville. The Miami Dolphins have not led for 1 second of any game this year. How about that?
That's a great stat.
The last time that a team has gone 4 weeks without leading for a second was 2017 when the Cleveland Browns went 0-16. Miami Dolphins play the 1-3 Patriots this weekend. Let's see if they can get a lead.
Really sneaky good game in the Big Ten this week is actually Rutgers and Nebraska.
Not mad at it.
4-0 Rutgers, 4-1 Nebraska. This is huge for Nebraska. If they lose this game, 3 out of their next 4 against ranked opponents and all on the road. You look at Rutgers, they win this game. They have 2 games against Wisconsin and UCLA, both at home. They have a legitimate chance to be 7-0 going into USC. A lot riding on this one.
That's poison.
Sneaky good game, man.
Rat poison. Which you just dealt them a big old bucket of rat poison, Muse.
Just saying.
Bills, Texans. Early season AFC battle between 2 dominant teams. Both teams currently 3-1. The Bills have put up at least 30 points in their 3 wins this season. Last week against the Ravens, just 10. Texans wide receiver Stephon Diggs going up against his former team as well.
I mean, of course we're watching Jay Daniels.
Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah.
I mean, he's magnificent. 4 games, leads the NFL in completion percentage, third down percentage, points per drive, just 1 turnover. 1 turnover through 4 weeks. It's incredible for anybody, let alone a rookie playing the first 4 games of his career. They play at Cleveland this weekend. So, can Jaden and the Commanders keep it rolling?
All right, is there any ounce of a letdown for Alabama this week against Vanderbilt?
Trap game, Muse. Book it, Muse. Trap game at Vanderbilt Stadium. You know what you're walking into, Bama. You better not sleep on the doors. They beat Virginia Tech. They were a shank field goal away from beating Missouri in Como.
They should have beat Georgia State, too.
Tread lightly there, Bammers. You know what nobody just walks all over Clark Lee, Diego Pavia, and the doors. They're going to be ready, Muse. They're going to be ready.
In all seriousness, I
can't wait for that clip to be put on Twitter by Marler and to get 400,000 views.
You won the big game. That's great. The next step in that is, okay, you're going to sleepy little Nashville where no one shows up for Vanderbilt. It's basically a home game for you.
Yeah.
Diego Pavia is actually really good, and Vanderbilt could be 4-0.
They're fine.
But is there any, I know they're not going to win the game.
No.
Is there any shred of letdown? I'm curious.
No, there's not.
Raiders, Broncos. AFC West showdown.
Shut up.
Why?
What in the world? What are you talking about?
I'm not really watching the game. I'm watching for Davante Adams. Will he play?
Okay. All right.
Will he dress?
Okay.
Will he even be in the stadium?
Like, what are you talking about? That defeats the point of this segment. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, like I said, will he dress? Will he play? Will he even be on the team on Sunday? The Saints do face the Broncos 2 weeks from tonight.
I'll wrap it up. Missouri at Texas A&M. Undefeated Missouri, number 9 in the country. It's the only ranked-on-ranked matchup of the weekend. Missouri, are you real? They had a scare against Vanderbilt. They have not been impressive offensively on the road. A&M, Mike Elko, good defensive mind. We'll see. Big spot for Missouri. Are you real? We'll find out this weekend. All right, there you have it. That's what to watch. We'll circle back on Monday and let you know how it went. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Y'all, if you're thinking of popping the question, Lee Michaels has helped Louisianians get engaged for 40 years. They're the best. Thrill her with a gift in the red box. If they don't have the piece of jewelry you're looking for, they can find it, or they'll make it for you. And they accept returns as well. They want her to be thrilled. If for whatever reason she doesn't love it, bring it back. They'll exchange it. They'll get you something she does love. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Too many times you see those situations. You want to walk into a jewelry store with a disheveled guy pulling out a calculator telling you how much money you're going to save. Give me a break. There's nothing special about that. At Lee Michaels, they're so great at creating the Lee Michaels experience. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. 9 locations. Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, and online at lmfj.com. Okay, y'all, we're not got a break. Come back. Lee Sterling will be here. Give us our best bets for the weekend ahead, both in college and the NFL. And Mike Triplett in about 25 minutes from right now. And Elijah Haven, 5-star number 1 quarterback for 2027 from the Dunham School. He's in studio with us next hour. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Watermark Hotel, the Renaissance Hotel. We're creeping closer to the weekend, y'all. Brunch at the Watermark is a great option for Sunday. Maybe go book those reservations right now over at the Gregory. Remember, they have Sunday brunch at the Gregory inside the Watermark Hotel. Number 1, if you're worried, I don't want to go downtown, I don't want to park downtown, complimentary valet parking when you eat at the Gregory. So you don't even have to worry about that. Like a VIP, pull right up. Valet will take your vehicle. They'll pull it right around whenever you're ready to leave. That's number 1. Number 2, affordable and excellent for the entire family. So if you're thinking about Sunday brunch, before church, after church, whatever it may be, no LSU game this weekend, maybe not a super late night, make it a point this weekend, this Sunday, to go check out Sunday brunch at the Gregory inside the Watermark Hotel. Baton Rouge's original high-rise building, so much of the historical architecture of that building maintained in a modern atmosphere. It's the Watermark Hotel.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Brack, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com.
Place your bets, gentlemen.
It's time to head to the window.
Don't gamble it all in one place.
This is Lee Sterling's Best Bets, brought to you by Paramount Sports.
Lee, great to have you back. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, two of the craziest endings. I mean, this is why we love college football. NFL's good, but in college football, there's some days that are just off the chain. That Alabama game, especially the ending, was insane. And then my Miami Hurricanes, I had nothing on the game. I'm just sitting there waiting almost 8 minutes for that decision. I almost had to take a shower after that game.
You think they got the call right?
So I thought that
okay.
I thought originally it should have been ruled, no catch, incompletion. But then when I saw that they ruled that it was a touchdown, I thought that I'm looking at the different, replays. The replays were not very good. They were tough to tell. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'm stunned they reversed it.
Stunned, totally stunned. But there's another thing that no one mentioned. I thought Richard, the defensive back number 25 Miami, if you look at the play again, they could have called him for interference. He was face guarding the whole way, holding up and making some contact with the receiver. So one of the craziest endings.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's get into this week. Who knows what's in store? You got a couple of local games you want to talk about. Let's start with the Wave. Tulane's going on the road to UAB, struggling there with Trent Dilfer. But Tulane, a 2-touchdown road favorite there at Birmingham?
Tulane has scored 86 points the last two games, while UAB has allowed their defense is really bad. They just don't have guys at all three levels. You got to have some guys that can make plays in space, and they don't. Allowing 41, 37, and 32 points the last three games, all losses, and thanks in large part to almost giving up 200 rushing yards per game. So Hughes has now 5 touchdowns on the year, averaging 5.2 yards per carry. They'll have success there. And then their quarterback, Mensa, he's been lighting up defenses. 10 yards per attempt with 9 touchdowns and just two picks here. I just expect to see more of the same. I think Tulane pulls away 42-17.
Wow, it's a big win there. 2 games on the docket in the SEC that I want to chat about. One, this is the one in the college football that I'm maybe most interested in this weekend, Lee. It's A&M against Missouri because we're going to see if Missouri is real. So A&M's a 2-point home favorite here against the Missouri Tigers. What say you?
All right, so I know these two teams pretty well. And I've been to Kyle Field a couple of years ago when Miami went. Just wanted to see the environment. It's a tough place to play. A&M's advantages here is slightly better running game and better defensive line. Other than that, I think Missouri has almost every edge. I think Brady Cook, by starting for over 2 years, he's got, I think, the makeup where he can go in there and excel. Marcel Reed's starting to come of age a little bit, but I think he's susceptible to a defense like this to turn the ball over a couple times. I wouldn't be shocked if they put in Connor Wegman at some point in this game if they fall behind. The biggest problem, and you can tell by the eye test, A&M just does not hit explosive plays. And I thought they were going to be like 60. They're 65. They only have 19 plays of 20 or more yards this year. Missouri also had a bye to prepare for this week. And just like I said last week, might come down to one player. If it does, Luther Burden's the guy. Can make the catch, break the tackle, get in the end zone here. I think the wrong team's favorite. I like Missouri 27-23.
The wrong team favorite special there by Lee Sterling's our guest at Paramount Sports, ParamountSports.com. Another one in the SEC. A&M against Arkansas. Man, Sam Pittman as a road dog has been wiry. The Vols keep it rolling, or does Arkansas keep it close?
Yeah, no question here. Tennessee is the better team. The question is, do you lay 13.5 points on the road? Arkansas, behind Green, a quarterback, and Jackson, a running back, they've got some talent on offense. But I think this Tennessee defense is underrated. I mean, they just totally shut down Oklahoma. Points Oklahoma got was late. I mean, playing a prevent defense here. I got Arkansas for 17, 20, or maybe 23 tops in this game. I think it's the Arkansas defense that might all of a sudden the floodgates open up here. They gave up 39 to Oklahoma State. And some people were talking about like Oklahoma State has a good offense. This is not a good offense this year. So I think that could spell trouble here. And also, you got to think about pace of play. Arkansas, number one in hurry-up offense. They get off 80.8 plays. Tennessee also up there, number 19 at 74.7 plays here. If you want to keep it close as an almost two-touchdown underdog, you want to slow down the game a little bit. I just don't see it here. I think Tennessee doubles up Arkansas 42-21.
A couple of NFL games we'll get to, but Lee, remind people about the phone number. I know you got a free play this weekend. I believe it's the Cajuns that you're giving out for free this weekend.
Yeah,
it's Lafayette against Southern Miss.
Yeah, I got something on this game. So first 5 callers to call 800-400-9741. I'll give them the Cajuns game at Southern Miss for free, 800-400-9741. And we don't call this October Paramount Sports. We call it Locktober. We hit our
I love it.
Our 45 unit. Wait till you hear the nicknames we got for some other months coming up. But we hit our 45 unit, our strongest play of the year so far last week. We read our plays from 10 to 50 units. We hit a 45 unit max wager last week on Kansas State. We're now 67-24 on these games going back the last 16 years. So you want to hop on board, normally $4.97. Use coupon code SAVE200 in the coupon box. Just $2.97 for 4 weeks of action. Also, we've got the baseball playoffs through the World Series, $77. We're starting off 3-0-1 there. And a UFC card, a pay-per-view out of Salt Lake City. Normally they're $77 or $97. We're selling for just $7. That's right. You heard me correct. $7 for 6 or 7 selections. Jump on it, everyone. ParamountSports.com.
ParamountSports.com. Use that code SAVE200, SAVE200. Or if you want that free play we just talked about, 800-400-9741, 800-400-9741. Let's get to tonight's game. Atlanta, slight. It's almost was a 1 point. Atlanta 1 point favorite at home over Tampa.
Yeah, it's come down here, and I think it's because of the injuries on the offensive line and on the defense. So Atlanta was on the field last week for 70 plays. That's a lot in the NFL. Their best tackler in that game, Troy Anderson, had 17 tackles. He's out. Drew Dahlman, center, he's out here. I think they need to start going to Pitts more. I don't understand it all. Trust me, they've got some really good running back in Robinson. They've got some good receivers. But he's the guy I think that will cause problems for other teams. They're just not on it yet. Tampa Bay has covered 9 of the last 14 road games. The Bucs have also defeated the Falcons in 6 of the last 8 games. Another wrong team favored. Wow. Tampa Bay outright 24-21.
I see the Bucs can keep it rolling. What do you think about the Saints on Monday Night Football going to KC to take on the Chiefs?
I like the Saints here. I think the Chiefs are going to lose a game. It's a non-division game. I think Kansas City's going to lose 3 or 4 games. I mean, you just can't go the whole season without your best 2 receivers and Pacheco for probably another 6-7 weeks. I just think it's too much. Their defense is great. They've been doing it with defense, special teams, and Mahomes making those big plays. But they're going to lose focus. And New Orleans, they should be undefeated right now. I think they pull the upset, 20-17.
Okay.
Yep, here you go.
Boy, that would be a massive get if the Saints could do this on the road to make up for what was that gag job in Atlanta this past Sunday. I mean, need to make up for it there. Lee Sterling at Paramount Sports. Get in there, ParamountSports.com. Again, go to ParamountSports.com. Use that code SAVE200 right now, SAVE200, and you can always call 800-400-9741 for the free play. That's UL Lafayette this weekend, 800-400-9741. Thank you, Lee.
Okay, thanks. Take care, Matt.
We'll do it again next week. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com, with locations all over the U.S. of A. From sea to shining sea, you weigh or measure something. Michelli sells, services, rents the products that you use to weigh and measure. Remember, if you need on-site calibration because you have equipment that can't leave your facility or you don't want to leave your facility, they can come to you with their mobile calibration labs, ISO 17025 accreditation, and their TRAC system. It's an acronym, TRAC, Track, Records, Assets, and Calibrations. That's 24/7, 365, access to all of your calibration certificates. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement, more than 75 years strong and proud. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Thursday shows brought to you by Decision Critical, Concierge Nursing Service. Proud to have them on as our new title sponsor on Thursdays. Learn more at DecisionCriticalBR.com. Mike Triplett's going to be here in 20 minutes. And I want to ask Mike about what is a comically long injury report for the New Orleans Saints. We'll get to that. Elijah Haven, 5-star number 1 quarterback in the country for 2027. He's here in 35 minutes from right now as well. We're going to hit SportsCenter, come back. Greg Sankey spoke on the record about this new proposed Super League in college football. It's something that's been talked about a lot, bandied about a lot, but it's one thing when radio hosts or bloggers put stuff out there. It's another when the commissioner of the most powerful league in the country goes on the record talking about this topic or any topic. We're going to let you hear what Greg Sankey said and react to it next.
AFR.
Y'all, it's Thursday. That means it is the night to get by Supper Club. Of course, they've got their wine feature that we've been telling you about, but also Thursday, y'all, one day only, 1 day a week only. Chef Layton serving up some prime rib, not just any prime rib. 21-day, dry-aged, bone-in tomahawk ribeye. One night a week. It is the special, only on Thursdays. And I talked to Chef Layton yesterday. If you're watching, there's the video of him preparing it. It's incredible. This can feed 3 to 4 people. It's a 3-pound ribeye. It can feed 3 to 4 people. It's priced at $150. So that's super reasonable for 3 or 4 people. There's only 7 tonight. So if you've been seeing this, thinking about it, and want to do something different, get to Supper Club tonight and make plans to be there every Thursday for the prime rib special and the wine feature. It's supperclubbtr.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Join us at Pro Dreams in Mandeville for our special event, A Day of Champions. Meet LSU National Championship winning head coaches Jay Johnson, Skip Bertman, and Paul Maneri. Don't miss your chance to purchase authentic sports memorabilia, autographed by the champions themselves. It's the perfect opportunity to celebrate LSU baseball and take home a piece of history. Visit pro-dreams.com to get your tickets. See you there.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Caitlin Clark is the WNBA Rookie of the Year, getting 66 out of 67 votes. Clark broke the league rookie scoring record and the single-season assist record, including 19 in one game, also a record. Clark finished 4th in the MVP voting. NFL Week 5 kicks off tonight in the NFC South. The 2-2 Falcons hosting the 3-1 Buccaneers. ESPN's Harry Douglas on the division-leading Bucs.
Baker's getting the football out of his hands quick. He's being clean in the pocket. But it also helps that you have a Chris Godwin, who is a sure-handed wide receiver, and also Mike Evans. I call him Mr. Consistent himself. Over 1,000 yards in each season he's been in the NFL. That's why Baker Mayfield is having a lot of success in Tampa Bay.
Harry Douglas. Chiefs wideout Rashee Rice will have more tests on his right knee next week. Today, he goes on IR, which means he'll miss at least the next 4 games. Baseball's only wildcard series going the distance, the Mets and Brewers. A winner-take-all Game 3 tonight in Milwaukee, 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and TV.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Commercial Insurance. It flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Decision Critical, a concierge nursing service in Baton Rouge. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Mike Triplett in 15 minutes. Elijah Haven in studio, bottom of this hour. 5-star number 1 quarterback for 2027 from the Dunham School. Really excited to have Elijah come and chop it up a little bit. So we'll get to that here shortly. Greg Sankey sat down on the Triple Option podcast. That's the Mark Ingram podcast, right?
Yes. It's
Urban
Mark
Meyer.
And Rob Stone.
And Rob Stone. And we talked about that podcast a few weeks ago because Urban Meyer shot down speculation about him being interested in the Florida job if it came open again. Well, Greg Sankey was a guest, and he was asked about a lot of things, including a proposed sort of super league in college football. But he was also asked if college football needed a commissioner, just one person overseeing college football. Here was his answer.
I think there's probably more of that conversation happening now because of the disdain for what's happened in some compartments But just having a commissioner wouldn't solve the transfer portal and the legalities around that. It wouldn't solve the name, image, and likeness issues. It wouldn't resolve lawsuits. And so we have to deal with what's in front of us. We're going to have to deal with that in the system we have, and it's going to have to adapt. Would that lend itself to some kind of central coordination? I think that's a lot more difficult proposition than people understand. I've studied it a little bit, and I come back to, I don't want to dumb down the Southeastern Conference to be part of some Super League notion with 70 teams that some people speculate would happen. They want to be us, and that's on them to figure it out, not on me to bring myself back to earth.
First of all, I think Greg Sankey's a very smart guy. And the opportunities I've got to know him over the last 10 years or so, he's been the commissioner. Has he gotten to 10 years yet? It's been a minute, but he never allows himself to get backed into a corner verbally. So if you try to pin him against the wall on a topic, he's going to be able to deftly maneuver. And he usually speaks out on a topic when he wants to, when it's important that his opinion be known for how they're positioning themselves. So let's be very clear. If there were one Super League, Greg Sankey's position should not come as a surprise. Here's why. If there were one Super League, just one college football, call it what you want, as I have said, is an inevitability. I've said for many years, that's where we're headed. There's going to be one college football. Break it down however you want. Divisions, call them conferences, it doesn't matter. But it's going to be everything instead of like the SEC negotiating its TV deal, the Big Ten negotiating its TV deal, the Pac-12, the Big 12, the ACC, all negotiating their own TV deals, having their own scheduling formats. There's just going to be one college football. So if you're the commissioner, let's work through this. If you're the commissioner of the SEC, why would you not want there to be one league? Any thoughts? Muse, Paulie, got any idea? If you're the commissioner of the SEC and there's just one Super League that everybody just melds into this one league, why wouldn't you want that? Any idea?
No, not really.
Yeah, because your league wouldn't exist anymore. The SEC and the Big Ten and the ACC and the Pac-12 and the Big, they wouldn't exist anymore. Greg Sankey and the SEC would no longer exist. Like, Greg Sankey would still be a human. Like, he would still exist. You know what I mean? But you wouldn't exist in that one league anymore because it's no longer all of these independent conferences jockeying for power. You're basically saying we're putting down our swords and we're all just going to come together and form one league. There's no more separation. So what Greg Sankey is saying, play the end of that again if you could, when he says, they want to be us, but that's on them to figure it out. Play the end of that if you could again, please.
I don't want to dumb down the Southeastern Conference to be part of some Super League notion with 70 teams that some people speculate would happen. They want to be us, and that's on them to figure it out, not on me to bring myself back to earth.
We're way ahead of them. They want to be us. Well, I'm not coming down to their level. They need to do better to come to mine. Get it. Totally get it. I get it. The SEC and the Big Ten right now are lapping the field financially. And Greg Sankey saying, what's on you? Okay. But if growth and revenue is what you're continuing to pursue, would adding Clemson add value? Yes. Would adding Florida State add value? Yes. Miami? Probably yes. I mean, you could do this league by league. Who are the teams that would have value in other leagues that if you all got together and played one league, you could add value and increase? The people that don't want that, of course, are the SEC because you're pretty good where you are, perched atop college football. But it is an inevitability. because the structure of college football, as we've known it for 100 years, that structure is crumbling. And you're seeing the power teams, the brands, escape the unstable footing. So the Pac-12, we've laughed at we've made fun of the Pac, y'all. We called the Pac-12 USC and their 11 little brothers for how long? Like, we just mocked the league because it was one team. Now, Oregon's had some success, obviously, Washington, but they realized the instability and how much the SEC and the Big Ten were distancing themselves. And the first opportunity they had to jump, they jumped. And Texas and OU did the same thing. And so that's all that's happening. It's just a consolidation. And it's an inevitability that consolidation is going to continue happening. But the reason Greg Sankey doesn't want a super league is it means the SEC wouldn't exist anymore. Because it would just be one league, one college football. So you could regionalize it the way the NFL does with divisions, but you don't have a commissioner for the AFC West. The NFC South doesn't have a commissioner. Just that's how you make the schedules and to make it work and travel and all that stuff. It's just logistics at that point. But there's a commissioner of the NFL, and that's what is being suggested with the Super League. It would just be one league with one TV deal and one playoff structure and one scheduling model with the teams that are part of that league. I mean, NFL teams aren't going to schedule games against CFL teams in week 1. I mean, that's what's happening right now in college football. You make your own schedule. We'll go play. Yeah, we'll play Furman. We'll get that gate receipt. We'll let some dopes in a hotel ballroom figure it out at the end of the season what the value of that game is. In the NFL, you're not playing a CF. Like, the Chiefs aren't opening up with the Toronto Argonauts just to kind of work their way into the schedule. The Chiefs don't make their schedule. The NFL makes their schedule. So, of course, Greg Sankey doesn't want a Super League. He'd be out of a job. But that doesn't mean it ain't going to happen, because that is an inevitability, and that is going to happen in my lifetime and many of yours as well. All right, it's AFR. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. In the market for a new vehicle, you got to go shop our friends at South Point Volkswagen. If you've never considered a Volkswagen, just put Volkswagen on your list. Shop them online. Every vehicle, if it's on the lot, it's online at southpointvw.com. Red Tag sales events going on right now, so they'll save you even more. You can shop the entire inventory. And if in your market for a new for a certified pre-owned vehicle, remember, go see my friend Kerry Manuel, certified pre-owned manager over at South Point. Even all makes and models, not just Volkswagens, because they sell so much new inventory. They get so many trade-ins, so they have a great certified pre-owned inventory. Check them out, southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, y'all, the New Orleans Saints had 15 people on their injury list today. I thought it was a joke. I had to check the calendar. Is it April Fool's? No, it's real. They had 15 people on the injury list today. What do we make of all this? We'll find out. Mike Triplett joins us next. It's AFR. AFR is brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. If you're going to be watching the Saints and the Chefs, hey, that's great, man, but who are the Chefs? On Monday Night Football, you can have a little game watch party. Make sure you get by our friends over at Rouse's. They'll have everything you need. All your party plays, your party trays, your tailgating platters. If you want little mini muffalettas or finger sandwiches or fruit trays or cheese trays, or you want tailgate trays of ribs and all the sides and fixings, they got you covered. Brisket, anything, any of your meats, they got it at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. You want your adult beverages as well? Of course, they got the officially licensed Saints Bud Light cans, which you can find, or any of your beers. If it's domestic, if it's draft, beautiful wine selection as well over at Rouse's. They've got their Buy 4, Save More program. So the more you buy, the more you save. Allows you to try a lot of interesting wines you may not otherwise try. It's at Rouse's with more than 70 locations. The newest coming in Biloxi here in about a week. It's Rouse's, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Mike! Yeah?
New Orleans Saints coverage with some Mad Libs mixed in.
Why don't you just go by Mike?
It's time to talk black and gold with Mike Triplett of New Orleans Football. Presented by Benny's Car Wash. Family owned and operated since 1951.
Hey, Mike. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Well, it'd be better if there weren't 15 players on the injury list. I know this is Thursday, which actually is kind of being treated like a Wednesday because it's the first injury report. But, okay, 15 guys on the list. What is the most significant thing there that you saw on Thursday?
Most significant is Taysom Hill because he's the one of the primary starters / player. Well, I mean, Cesar Ruiz you could put on there. We knew he was missing last week. Eric McCoy is obviously on injured reserve. He's not even on that list. But I get the impression Taysom Hill's probably not going to play this week. He did have rib fractures. Alvin Kamara also played through at least one rib fracture last week. Dennis Allen said he might not go on injured reserve, so it could just be a 1 or 2 week thing. But until we see him, I think he's a long shot for this week. I feel like Cesar Ruiz feeling a little doubtful, but good sign that DeMarion Davis and Tyrann Mathieu were out there, which were two guys we wondered about, and to see them out there so early in the week is a really good sign.
What about Kendre Miller returning?
He's back in practice, and he's healthy enough to practice, and now I think it's going to be rust and trust. I just came up with that.
I love it so much. I wonder if you had written that down somewhere.
No,
that was just right off the top.
Like, as I was saying, I was like, oh, my God, these words actually rhyme.
Ad-libs. I love it. Mad libs.
It's not quite boom and zoom, but it's pretty good. But no, look, and Dennis Allen has not been any easier on Kendre Miller when he's asked him about him this week. He says he has no idea what to expect from him. If he did, I believe he probably made it through practice. We don't get to see the end of practice. If he made it through today's practice, that's the first time since June that he's done so. So to expect him to come in and make a immediate impact is probably asking a lot. I don't know if he'll even be active in this game, to be honest.
Do you think, considering the injuries that you just laid out, they have enough to go into Kansas City and win? I'm not asking if they're going to win the game. I'm saying, do they have enough offensively to go win?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they only give the ball to 3 people, to 4 people, 3.5 people. And the only one missing is Taysom Hill. Now, look, they were able to really mask their offensive line deficiencies against Atlanta. Shane Lemieux at center, Landon Young at right guard, and Lucas Patrick at left guard, and Trevor Penning at right tackle didn't suddenly get great at football. Derek Carr got rid of the ball really quick. They still gave up some pressures. They still worked their way around it. And I think Clint Kubiak is going to be able to continue to work his way around offensive line deficiencies. It's been really impressive how he's done that so far, but now they're going against Chris Jones, who might be the best interior pass rusher in the league now that Aaron Donald is retired. And the last time they went against a interior pass rusher who was playing lights out 2 weeks ago against Philadelphia, it wreaked havoc on them. So this is a very tough matchup for a banged-up offensive line.
He's on Twitter at Mike Triplett, NewOrleans.football. Chat's brought to you by Benny's Car Wash. I'm going to pivot. We'll come back to the Monday Night Football here in a second, but I'll pivot since we're on offense, and I'll get your take on the Davante Adams situation. First of all, is there anything you can share just from the Saints' perspective about their level of interest and what they might be willing to do here?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're probably in the due diligence mode. They will absolutely have those conversations and find out where the Raiders are at. And it would have to be kind of creative. I mean, I think there's a give and take. If you have to pay the entire salary, then I don't think you give up a second-round pick. If the Raiders are eating some of the salary, maybe it's a second-round pick. He's due $35 million next year, and the year after that it's not guaranteed. But do you have to have conversations about, all right, we don't want this just to be a one-year rental. Can we rework that contract and make it a 3-year deal or a 2-year deal? Would the Saints even be interested in that? So all that stuff is hard to say. I think it would have to all be right for them. But I do think there is no question about the fit. There's no question about the need. Yes, offensive line is a bigger need, but receiver is a need for this team. I think it'd be exactly what they're missing. And I think the Saints were really patient and what's the other word? Not shrewd, but they did not spend a lot of money this offseason. They were not frivolous. The only guys they spent money on were 25. They didn't trade future draft picks. They were catching up on the salary cap a little, thinking about the future a little. But I think they've gotten new information now, and they have a really good team. I think better team than any of us expected. So I would not be shocked if they decided to put a little resources into this team, whether it's Davante Adams or something smaller at the trade deadline.
Okay. What else? Anything else at the trade deadline? You said something else smaller. Anything that comes to mind or that you're thinking?
Well, I mean, usually there's not a lot of Davante Adamses out there, right?
Sure.
I mean, that doesn't happen very often. But do they, if there's a couple more injuries, do they add a receiver who doesn't necessarily move the needle, but, fits what they need? Do they find that offensive lineman? I mean, shoot, the same team that has Davante Adams has Andrews Pete as a backup. He would feel like a godsend for this team right now. Do they add a piece like that? That's more realistic than the splash move, but I don't think they would shy away from considering the splash move.
I'll jump back. I know we're jumping around a little bit, but I'll jump back into the game. How in the world does the defense stop or slow down Patrick Mahomes?
Well, he's kind of doing it himself right now, isn't he? I mean, the good thing is this is regular season Patrick Mahomes, who is like, what do I have to give to win this game? 75%? All right, I'll give 75%. We'll win it on the final play, 20-17. I mean, the Chiefs, they don't look like world beaters. They just win. It's the exact opposite of what we're dealing with the Saints over the last 2 weeks. They couldn't make that one more play. The Chiefs always make that one more play, but and their entire offense this year has been Rashee Rice, and he's injured now. So I don't know who they're going to throw to other than Travis Kelce, who's obviously looked not quite like his prime self this year. Their best runner, Isaiah Pacheco's out of the game. So this isn't like they're going up against a team that just lights it up and you can't stop them. But he's very efficient. I mean, are you going to rattle Patrick Mahomes? No. If you get to him once or twice, you're not going to put him under duress and throw him off. It's the same as everything else. You've got to match points. You've got to make them work for their drives. Stop giving up these 60-yard plays. Make the team go 10 plays if they're going to score points against you, and try to be ahead on the scoreboard if you can.
The defensive injuries, Willie Gay's out, and Demario Davis, Tyrann Mathieu returned. Do you worry, or is there any concern from the Saints' perspective about an individual or a position group matchup in this game on Monday Night Football?
Not necessarily. The Chiefs have a really good interior offensive line. The Saints have not been getting a lot of interior pass rush, a little bit with Brian Brzee. So that's a matchup that favors the Chiefs. But other than that, no. I mean, if Willie Gay's the worst injury that they have, that's pretty good. That's you can absorb that, especially with Demario Davis coming back. So I don't think the matchup is too daunting, except for the fact that it's maybe one of the 2 or 3 best quarterbacks in NFL history that they're facing.
I just want a perspective on Cam Jordan, who's obviously a Saints Hall of Famer, possibly, maybe likely a Pro Football Hall of Famer. We're seeing his snap counts reduced dramatically. This is a guy who used to never come off the field. What, at this point, Mike, do we realistically expect from Cam Jordan anymore?
I would expect more of the same as long as they're healthy. As long as Carl Granderson and Chase Young are healthy, they're going to get most of the defensive end snaps. And Cam Jordan will get around his 20 as a rotational guy who's capable of still being an asset against the run as both an end, maybe moving into that defensive tackle in the NASCAR package that we've seen a few times as a pass rusher, but a rotational guy unless there's injuries, he needs to step up and be more. I mean, he's sort of growing old gracefully, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. When can we expect your exclusive one-on-one with Tay-Tay?
With Tay-Tay? Oh, shoot.
Yeah, you're going to Kansas City. She doesn't go back. Our next tour date's in Miami in 2 weeks, so she'll be there, right?
I thought you meant Davante Adams.
No. Who cares about him?
Cares about, right?
Who cares about Davante Adams? Talk about Taylor Swift, man. Let's go.
Do you think that's what the Saints are missing? Do you think they need a player? I mean, Reggie Bush used to date Kim Kardashian. They were. I don't know how that correlated to wins. I might need to do more research on this. Maybe Celebrity Girlfriend is what the Saints are missing right now.
Well, the Chiefs won pre-Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce. They obviously won last year. So I don't know that there's necessarily a correlation there. But if it works, I'm all for it. Any other Saints? Were there any other famous significant others?
Eric. You remember Eric Johnson, the Saints tight end? He ended up marrying Jessica Simpson, but they were not dating yet when he was on.
Oh, really? Okay, good for him. That's great. Formerly,
we saw Aaron Stecker out in New Orleans. His daughter's like a famous hip hop singer now.
Aaron Stecker.
Obviously, that
special
former
teams
running back.
all-star. Yeah, no, I remember Aaron Stecker. I mean, he was a one of those guys who always run down on kickoffs with his hair on fire, wore 27 to blow people up. I remember Aaron Stecker, of course. So this is great. Yeah. Saints, let's go. Let's get some famous girlfriends in there. Great. In the meantime, let us know about the Taylor Swift interview. I'll look forward to it there at neworleans.football. He's on Twitter at Mike Triplett, and our chats are brought to you by Benny's Car Wash every Thursday. Thanks, man.
Thanks for having me.
That's our pleasure. It's After Further Review, brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. 18 locations across South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. We'll continue to congratulate Miss Beth Barron, Modern Tire Dealers, 2024 Auto Dealer of the Year. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. Their commitment, their passion for people and excellence is what sets Shaw Bills apart. I've said that for years. Now a national publication is named Shaw Bills. Their Modern Tire Dealer of the Year. It's Shaw Bills. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. Schedule service online, shop tires online. You can find them there at ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. Okay, y'all. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Elijah Haven, class of 2027 quarterback from Dunham, catching a lot of people's attention, man. Number one quarterback in the country, according to On3 for 2027. He'll join us in studio. It's AFR.
AFR.
Got a text earlier today from Erica. She said, do you think Glow Resources can help you find qualified teachers and stuff like that? Erica works at a school. I think they're looking at hiring. I was like, it's worth a shot. Pretty much any job. If it's skilled blue collar labor, It's white-collar positions, any type of office job up to C-level management. If you're looking for people, Glow Resources can help you find them, and they do so better than anyone. I mean, that's data. You know, I told you this. Glow Resources, over the course of a given day, in their offices, they do about 50 interviews. So over the course of a year, it's about 15,000 interviews that they conduct. They have never had a negative review from one of their interviews. How about that? Part of the reason they have a 93% success rate. If for some reason it doesn't work out, they'll give you a prorated refund, or they'll find you another employee for free. It's Glow Resources. Y'all check them out online. GLO, glowresources.com. Complete employer solutions.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Glad to have you back with us, rolling along. Hour number 3 of AFR, joined in studio now by Elijah Haven from the Dunham School. Man, you've gotten a lot of attention here the past few weeks. How are you, man? Thanks for coming up.
I'm very good. 4-0 in the season. Team's looking great, so just happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's our pleasure. Thanks for making the effort. So you had practice today.
Yeah, I did.
So y'all had practice and you rolled right over.
Yep.
So who do you have tomorrow?
We have Baker Buffaloes, first district game, so super excited.
So I was told to ask how sad you are that Mrs. Terrio retired.
Pretty sad. She was definitely a big part of me coming to Dunham. She was one of the first people I met, and it was history from there.
Yeah.
She was a great teacher in middle school, and she really just was a big part of the reason I came to Dunham.
Yeah, Mary Terrio, that's Ryan's mom, for those that don't know, of course, and she just retired after a long run at the Dunham School. She's a pretty awesome lady. So we're glad to have you in here as well. Man, I want to ask, you you've kind of, I mean, you were starting as a freshman. That's rare, to say the very least. Did you always, like, when you're still a young guy, but when did you realize, like, man, I'm really good?
I guess first game against Parkview, pretty good game, I guess. It was just, I came into the game going cool, calm, and collected. I prepared very well, and it was just, I was just kind of in a flow. I wasn't very nervous or anything, but kind of that first game, just having all the confidence in my preparation and the way I prepared. I learned from Jackson House, the quarterback the year before. He was a great aspect, and what I learned at the quarterback position going into my freshman year, but just kind of having the confidence in myself and holding myself to a high standard.
How old are you?
15.
Dang, dude. You should be sitting here. Like, we should switch, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I would never play quarterback and be that athletic. But you should be here. 15, it's amazing. Did you dominate youth sports when you were younger? Like, what? Yeah, you're 6'4"?
6'4",
so
6'5".
God bless your mom, too, because she has to buy clothes for you. So, when did you start to grow?
I've always been, like, the tallest in my class, for sure. I guess it was kind of continuous. It wasn't like I was
never
really
hit
short.
one big spurt?
It was never really one big spurt.
Man.
I've always kind of just been the tallest in my class.
What do you have basketball as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, where do you play basketball, or what position do you play?
I mean, pretty much everywhere. I could play the point, but they also need me. I'm one of the tallest guys on the team, so they need me to get down there, play down low, get rebounds. So, like, whatever the team needs, I got it.
So when you're 6'4", like, they're going to say, hey, big guy, go rebound on the block. Like, you want to be bringing up the ball, taking your shots, but I get it. So how do you let's walk through what a day is like for you. So you're 15, you're a high school sophomore, you're the starting quarterback at Dunham, you're 4-0, you play basketball as well. What is a day like for Elijah now, who's gotten all this recruiting attention as well? So, like, start me through what a normal day is like for you.
Normal day, get up, get ready. Usually, during the week, I meet with our OC, Coach Jeff Hand, every morning, just kind of see what the other opponent is doing defensively wise, and just kind of see how we can offensively the best plays for us to run that week. Meet with him in the morning, and then I have school from about 8 to 3:15. Then we have practice for about 2.5 hours. Then I go home. Then homework. And then shower and try to get into bed about 10:30.
Man, so you have a really full day at this point already. Does recruiting add to that? Like, I'm always curious because I know when there's contact periods, coaches can text you or call you. Like, has that added more onto your plate?
A little bit. I'm always talking to coaches. Actually talked to a Michigan coach after this. So, recruiting has been, a very good blessing for me, and I'm very thankful for all the coaches that have looked into me. But that's definitely added a little bit to my plate. But I'm just honored to be able to talk to these coaches and build great relationships with them.
What was it like? Because it was recently that I believe it was On 3 or maybe it was 24/7 who named you number 1 for 2027. It's a long way away, obviously, but you see that. What's your thought when you see something like that pop up?
I feel like it's easy to get a big head after you see something like that, but just trying to stay humble. And thank God for all that He's done for me, and thank my parents for supporting me through all of this, and just kind of stay grounded through all of this. It's easy to lose sight of yourself and start bragging about you're the number 1 player, but just kind of stay humble and thank God for all that. To be in this position in the first place.
Has that? By the way, did you know that you were going to be like? Did they tell you beforehand?
They did. They did.
So who they called you or met? Or
yeah, they called me. Who
was it? You remember? It's okay if not.
I don't remember, but Tom Lloyd from 24/7. He was a big part in this. I think he's like the Southern recruiter. He looks into all the guys in the South. So he was a big part in this, but I don't remember exactly who called me.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. No, it's so whenever that happened and it went out, like I would imagine like your social media probably blew up. I would imagine more coaches started calling you. So walk me through that whenever that news did break, what that was like for you.
It was pretty crazy. Social media was definitely blowing up. Coaches, I think after the ranking came out, Auburn started contacting. So, it was just a full cycle. Social media was blowing up, Instagram, Twitter, and then, obviously the recruiting part, coaches, they hear about the number one player. They obviously want to try to, get to know him and build a relationship with him. So, it was definitely a crazy process.
Yeah. Elijah Haven is in studio with us, Dunham School, number one quarterback in the country for 2027. Is the recruiting piece distracting as you're in the middle of a season? And you talked about, man, you're meeting with your offensive coordinator, you're 4-0. We had a great game against St. Charles Catholic a couple weeks ago. Is it distracting?
A little bit.
Yeah?
I definitely say a little bit. I try not to lose, focus on what's really important, and that's the team. But, it could definitely creep in, with social media being such a big outlet in the world now. And, I just try to, stay away from it as much as I can, not let it get to my mind because, I don't want to, let it distract me from the way I play the game. So, just kind of staying away from it and, being the best player I can.
Yeah. Whenever football season ends, you're going to play basketball again as well. So have you – I know it's weird we look through this prism, Elijah, because we talk about recruiting, you talk about guys, and you think about you hear locally through an LSU perspective or whatever. You lose sight of the fact that it's a long way to go for you still till whenever you sign and get to college. I mean, you just started your sophomore year. So do you want to continue playing basketball your entire high school career? Do you think there's a point where you do specialize?
I think there's a point where I do specialize, but definitely this year and probably next year I'm going to stick it out playing basketball. I started loving basketball when I was about 8 years old, so, it's just something I love to do, so I'm going to definitely continue to play. I think around senior year I'll maybe make a decision of what sport I really wanted to play, but right now just enjoying the moments, in high school and, taking it full throttle.
Who's your favorite team?
Basketball?
Yeah.
Pels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Elijah Haven, noted Pelicans fan. Thank you. Dude, if I had to hear another young person around here say, "Oh, I love Steph. I'm a Warrior fan." Like, no. We got a home team, man. Let's go. Flock up, right?
Yeah.
Let's get it, man. How do you think they're going to be this year? You excited about DeJounte?
Yeah, very. I was a big Zion fan when he was in Duke. I'm a Dukes fan, so when Zion was in Duke.
You're not going to Duke to play football. I will not allow it. I refuse to allow that. Mom, I won't allow that. I mean, if you get into – well, you could get into Duke, I'm sure. I couldn't get into Duke. But if you can get into Duke, that ain't bad. No, so go ahead. Sorry, you're saying you're a big Zion fan?
Yeah, big Zion fan. I followed him when he was in high school, so big Pels fan.
Yeah, man. Let's go, dude. That fires me up. There's nothing worse than, like, watching the Lakers come in to the Smoothie King Center and just seeing all these Lakers. I'm like, that ain't people coming in from L.A.
Yeah.
That's the dude that lives on College Drive driving down there to go wear a Lakers jersey. Come on, y'all. Elijah Haven's in the studio. You can do another segment with us?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Let's knock out a quick break. We're brought to you by Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com, windows, door siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well. So if you need any of that, there's nobody better than Relief Windows. Y'all check them out online at reliefwindows.com or give them a buzz, 288-8138, 288-8138 for Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Okay, y'all, it's been a really good show. You missed anything, AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golf. We'll knock out a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show with another segment here with Elijah Haven. Ask him his thoughts on LSU, on the Tigers, Brian Kelly, Joe Sloan, the staff. We'll get into some of that as well as we continue. It's AFR.
After further review.
Man, I love telling you about Clegg's Nursery. Y'all, this is the time of year to get by Clegg's. I know it's like 86 degrees in October, but we're getting closer to fall weather. Be a little chill in the air. This is the time, y'all, to get by Clegg's Nursery. Start decorating for fall. We're like 4 weeks away from Halloween. Pumpkins and hay bales, squash, gourds, scarecrows, all that fall decor for your front porch, your back patio, your office building. Man, they got all of it over at Clegg's. Beautiful displays. Just walk into any of their locations. Also, it's time to start planting those fall vegetable gardens. If you're a green thumb, you know that already, but maybe it's the first time. Like my dad's 70 years old. He just took up gardening. He has like vegetables in his backyard now. Like, if you're learning, this is the time to get those seeds in the ground. So go by Clegg's. If you're not sure, man, just ask one of the friendly staff members, our horticulturist. You'll see him in the blue Clegg shirts. It's Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR. Appreciate our friends over at Decision Critical Concierge Nursing, our new title sponsor on Thursdays. Amazing people. I told you before, their founder, CEO, Blazer Rivette, was a former CV nurse. So when my son came home from the hospital, she cared for him when he was little bitty. And she's done amazing work there at Decision Critical. If you need concierge nursing from birth all the way to end-of-life care and everything in between, learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. I'm very pleased to be joined in studio by Elijah Haven, Dunham School quarterback, class of 2027 quarterback, major national recruit now. The scouting services came out, have him as the #1 quarterback for 2027. He's right here in Baton Rouge at the Dunham School. I got to ask the question that everybody here is going to want to know about. Did you grow up an LSU fan? Are you an LSU fan?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So what? Have you got to meet Brian Kelly or any of the staff yet?
I have.
Yeah.
I've talked to Coach Kelly a little bit, and then most of my talks and conversations have been with Coach Sloan.
Yeah. What have been your impressions of? And I love Joe Sloan, by the way. Just full disclosure. What have been your impressions of Joe? Coach Sloan.
Great coach. He tries to get to know my family, and me as a person, not just me as an athlete and a football player. So I definitely appreciated that from him. But he started recruiting me about last year, so we've been building a great relationship ever since. He checks up on me, wants to know how I'm doing on and off the field. So just a great coach. I would love to pray for him for one day, and looking to keep building the relationship.
Yeah. You get to go. You were in Tiger Stadium a few weeks back. You were there for the UCLA game, right?
I was.
When it was about 176 degrees on the field. You were down on the field before the game. Was it as hot on the field as they said it was?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it was one of those days.
Yeah, it was.
So even if you're from here, you still never quite get used to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that heat was a little aggressive. But what's it like for you as a kid, like from the Baton Rouge area, to get to go down on the field and be there as a recruit?
Yeah, I guess you could say a dream come true. You know, you grow up watching LSU and, you know, players like Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels, and, you know, it's just a blessing to have an opportunity to be a recruit now, and, you know, to be able to go see coaches like Joe Sloan and Coach Kelly, and I'm just very thankful unto God and, you know, for putting me in this position. Everything, I'm just thankful for everything he's blessed me with, really. You grow up as a little kid watching, and to be in this position now, I'm just extremely grateful.
You got a formal offer this past week, right? I saw you tweet that. So was that? How did they do that? Did Coach Sloan call you off? How did that?
I was actually at because we played on Thursday at Central
Yeah.
Catholic, and I was actually at a football game, Dutchtown, and he gave me the call, and he was just telling me how proud he was. He said we did it right. You know, we didn't rush into, you know, him offering me or anything like that, but we built a great relationship, and he just said he was honored to offer me, and I was just, you know, I was ecstatic.
Very cool, man. By the way, the game against St. Charles, you had a pretty significant play to win that game. For those, was it 55 yard or was it longer than that? The touchdown run?
I think it was 65.
Forgive me, I shorted him 10 yards. 65-yard touchdown run to win the game against a team that's been a perennial dome team there in St. Charles Catholic. So congrats on that. That's awesome. Have you made any other visits at this point? Like, are you even starting that process?
I have. I actually was just in Bama for the Bama-Georgia game last week, so that was just a great game to be a part of, for sure.
Yeah, man, what a wild environment that was. Like, are you building relationships already with class of 2027 guys? Like, because I would imagine now, have you started doing camps and like elite camps and stuff like that?
Yep.
So who are some of the guys that maybe you're getting to know a little bit, either from here or other?
Trent Seaborn from Alabama. You know, he was at LSU versus UCLA, and then he was also at Bama versus Georgia. So it was, you know, definitely one of those guys. Mark Bowen out of Bowman out of Mater Dei in LA. It was a tight end I met at Bama. Trey Taylor, he's out of, I want to say, Illinois or Michigan. He also got an offer from LSU on Friday. So definitely some guys in the 2027 class I'm starting to build some relationships with.
How many formal offers do you have right now?
8.
8 formal offers.
Yes,
Do the number's obviously going to go up a lot. You know, it's when we talk about like you as a prospect. I mean, you're six. How much do you weigh?
210.
So you're 6'4", 210 as a 15-year-old. So you're going to keep growing. By the way, like if doctors like project, like, you know, they can do the growth projecting. Have they told you how big they think you're going to be?
I think I'm about done.
Okay.
Yeah, I should be about done.
I hope so for your mom too. She just keep buying you shoes every year. So like as a parent, like, you know that it's like, man, you can stop growing anytime now. Like, because every year I got to buy you a new wardrobe. So have you thought about like physically where you feel like you physically need development?
In terms of physically, I feel like I'm pretty good right now. Just continue to grow into my body. Continue to, in terms of football, continue to sharpen my mechanics, throwing wise. You know, there's definitely some throws. Last week I won it back, so just continue to get better in that. But physically, I feel pretty good. 6'4", 210.
Yeah,
can't really.
No kidding, man. Right? That's what, you know. I'll ask guys that sometimes. Like I talked to Harlan Berry on the show a couple of weeks back. He was talking about that. You know, he's one of his great assets is that his speed and his quickness. He's like, I don't want to gain too much weight and lose the speed. I get that. So, but when you're 6'4", 210, probably might be set there. But so you mentioned some of the throws you want back. Is that like physical development, accuracy, or is that awareness? Like, what are those types of things when you said sharpening your skills?
I feel like it's like a play with, you know, physical and mental. You know, obviously like reads and knowing where you're going with the football, so you're able to make an accurate throw. And then physically, you know, training and getting your mechanics, so it becomes muscle memory. You know, making those throws and, you know, feeling it. And so like when it's time for the game, it's just really just muscle memory and natural for you.
Do you think 7-on-7 helps that?
I say a little bit. I say 7-on-7 a little bit, especially for me. I can get a little lackadaisical with my footwork, and I kind of just, with no rush, you don't really have to move in the pocket or anything. But definitely 7-on-7 definitely helps with seeing those throws and making those accurate types of throws.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I didn't think about that. Yeah. So with no pass rush, you can just kind of like set back and be confident in the throw, maybe not focus on some of those mechanics. We got a little more than a minute remaining, though. If I ask you kind of like what you think is next, like for the rest of this football season, obviously hoping Dunham goes undefeated and wins the state championship, right? But what is kind of like, are you playing basketball yet, or will you start basketball whenever the football season ends?
Yeah, I'll start whenever the football season ends. Hoping that's in December, obviously. Want to go to state, but just continue to grind with the team, continue to build relationships, just having fun this season, enjoying my sophomore season. It's been fun so far, 4-0, so looking to keep going.
Saints fan? Oh no, you had me with the Pels. All right, who we got in the NFL?
My dad's from Georgia, so
okay. Don't tell me Falcons.
Falcons.
Oh no. Oh no. This was going so well. No, so Mom, why don't you listen to your mom?
Oh no, my dad just pulled me aside, I guess.
The Falcons. The Falcons have never won anything, Elijah, ever. They blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl.
They did.
There ain't even any real Falcons fans anywhere, man. More Saints fans in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Ebony, we got to work on that. He's basically perfect. Y'all did a great job except for that. Elijah, this was a lot of fun, man. Thank you for coming up.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it. Elijah Haven. Just follow him on all the social channels and stuff. Hopefully we catch up again down the road. We appreciate you for coming in. Views, Paulie, I appreciate it. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
After further review.
As we get on down the road, remind you about Optimize, GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. Hey, look, storms come. That's a part of living in this part of the country. Generally, when they do, they'll knock out the power. Easiest thing to do, install a Generac automatic home standby generator. So as soon as the power goes out, your generator comes on, powers the whole home as if nothing ever happened. Of course, every single person would want a Generac automatic home standby generator. I don't really need to sell the importance of that. Like, we would all love to not have our power go out, our air go out, all the inconvenience, wait in line for gas, wait in line for ice. All that goes away. So the question is, who do you buy it from, and can you afford it? Well, the who you buy it from is easy. That's Optimized. They're the Generator people. They're the #1 Generac dealer in the state of Louisiana. They service the entire 1012 corridor from Lake Charles to Slidell, everywhere in between. Can you afford it? Well, $600 down payment. They got financing options for any budget, so check them out and learn more today at GeneratorPeople.com. Again, that's GeneratorPeople.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.